Have you heard about the beast and how it whispers in the woods, beckoning lost travellers off the path and leaving nothing but bone and gristle in the muck and the mire? Did you hear about how it chewed its way out of the belly of the earth, through the fire, through the flames and through the dirt, its ravenous hunger never sated? Have you heard that it can wear the skin and sinew of a man, smile politely at you in the street, while sharpening the knife to plunge into your back? Have you heard about the beast? Heard its name? Because its name is Dom Allen and he's here with us tonight! I'm all the way from hell. Well, let's find out whether this local legend is nothing but an old wives' tale or whether there's something more grim to this fairy story. As Chaotic Neutral plays, have you heard about the beast? So we are playing Have You Heard About the Beast, which is a zine created by Matt Sanders, and the idea is it's a bunch of storytelling prompts in order for our players to create a beast. You can bolt it onto pretty much any RPG system that involves combat, and then you guys are going to be using these prompts to help create a beast as people gather around a campfire, or people in a tavern somewhere, telling stories of a thing they've seen out in the dark. And then we're going to send you out, and you're going to face it. But we've divvied out 12 different prompts from this zine to you guys. You all have characters that you're going to be in the second half of the game. We'll go through the rules of how we're going to play the second half when we get to that. But in the first round, we're just going to have a little chat about what this beast is. So, whoever has the What It Is card can start us off.
What is it?
He's going to tell.
He's going to tell. What is it? 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 He's going to tell. He's going to tell. He's going to tell.
I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
He'll be wrong anyway.
So are we?
Who are you?
Our characters now, or are we?
You can be whatever you want. So this can be what your characters have heard, because there are cards in this that are like, where are you hearing this, or who is telling you. So these can just be other members who are gathered at this campfire or tavern or wherever we end up being. So you can be your character now if you want to be stepping in as your character and describe who they are and what their name is. Alternatively, you can just be another punter at the pub.
Well, to describe my character, imagine Mickey Mouse in, is it The Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah. That outfit.
Right, okay,
on
incredible.
a full-grown man.
Yeah, perfect.
And he comes in and says, "Hello everyone, it's me, I'm Wizard Steve. Not to be mistaken with my arch nemesis and great rival, Wizard Sleeve. He's a horrible man and I hate him. He's awful and evil. And I've heard about this beast. Have you heard about this beast?"
Yeah, I've heard about the beast.
Yeah, it's always rough, isn't it? It's rough stuff, isn't it? Oh yeah, going out there,
It's pretty
causing
scary,
trouble.
actually, yeah.
Oh, pretty scary.
Yeah.
I heard that this beast is the bastard child of Hades and Persephone. The Greek gods came from Hades itself. They're the entity of the underworld. And resembles somewhat a blobfish by face. Anyone else heard anything about this beast?
Well, I've heard something. Oh, hi. By the way, my name is Cash Grab'em. I am 10 years old.
That's such a good name! Cash Grab'em is so good!
And I wear a tricorn hat that every time I go up and am fighting a beast, because I fight a lot of beasts, I gotta try to grab them all.
It's a very good child voice. It's quite scary.
I gotta try to grab them all to get that cash, But I wear a tricorn hat, and every time I fight one, I go, "It's time to grab them all!"
So when but also if you've got a tricorn hat and you're turning it backwards, you're just turning it to another. It's be like
another
that.
bit.
Yeah, it's
Gotta get them all.
It's got different colors for each corn.
Yeah. Cash Grabber is one of my favourite names. It's so good. It's so good. He's also a 10-year-old boy that we have on
10.
this.
But I've caught so many beasts. Do you want to hear how many beasts?
How many beasts have you caught?
I've caught a total. Are you not ready? I've caught a total of 3.
Wow.
3 whole beasts. You're not even ready. Okay, well, anyways, this one.
So many of them are cocoons as well.
Yeah, a lot
At
of
this
them.
stage in Cash
A
Grabham's
lot of
career,
them
they'll be
they've
cocoons.
actually just come to me. I've not actually done anything, myself, but it's okay. I still take the credit. I have heard that this beast is only 2 years old, but is as big as the biggest building you can think of.
Oh.
Like the biggest one ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it's only 2. Imagine how much bigger it will get.
Oh, got too big.
Terrifying.
Too big.
I really want it though. I will make so much cash if I grab it.
How will you grab it? You're only small.
Well, do you see this this little? Oh, I've got basically a stick with a ball at the end of it. It's called a flail. And I go like this, hula, hula, with it, and it usually works really well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's the size of the biggest building
It's the
I've ever
biggest
seen.
build. I'm just gonna go for its toes, I think. Wah! And it'll go ah. That's the plan.
Which I guess if we're in vaguely medieval times might be just a church.
Yeah.
Like, it's as big as a church.
Yeah. It's pretty big.
As big as a church.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Says the figure who is telling us about it. They are a woman, a very, very old woman, covered in blood. It looks like both of her legs and arms have been torn away. And she's being tended to by a very portly figure in a brown cassock tied with rope, who's got he's bald on top with hair around here. He's quite jowly, but also sort of boyish faced. And he's sweating profusely as he's trying to cauterize her wounds, but she's just laughing in his face. And he's going, "Please, madam, please hold still. You can tell us about it in a moment." And she goes, "Ha ha ha ha! It's bigger than a church. The biggest building I can imagine is a cathedral, and it's at least as big as that. Look what it's done to me. I got no arms or legs no more, and it took one of my teeth as well."
Why did it take a tooth? What did it do?
And then she goes,
Oh no, she's dying.
coughs up a load of blood, and the monk behind her goes, "Please, madam, you need to sleep. You need to sleep now and rest, and then maybe some of this will grow back.
What happened? It goes back.
Apparently.
Pleased to meet you.
That's what I heard, says somebody else in the room.
Don't worry about old Mrs. Mavis here. Okay. She's seen an awful lot while she's been picking her herbs. I feel guilty because she was picking them for me for my poultices and healing potions. I'm a cleric. I'm a monk. A reformed gigolo, actually. My name is Brother Triafuck.
I think Triafuck.
That's correct.
Oh,
Try
okay.
it. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. So
I think that. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Go on.
I think the thing that he said he used to be is the name of another beast, but I think it used to end with Puff. I don't know, Gigolo Puff. I think I've heard.
No, you're mistaken. Gigolo Puff is simply a common infection that many gigolos get. But that's what the poultices are
that's
for.
what it was. That's what it
you
was.
don't want to
Okay,
catch that.
No,
I'll
I
tell you.
don't.
Tends to go around the community once one person gets it as well. Really spreads.
It makes you all really sleepy.
That's true,
I've
Mrs. Mavis.
had the puff. I've had the puff. It's
I had a bad case.
it's not nice.
Back in 1602, I had the puff.
You can't walk for days sometimes if it gets really puffy. But luckily I have all these poultices and creams.
Well, the other thing about it is you don't want it to progress into the old wiggly tough, because then it's really hard to get rid of, isn't it?
Very good.
Oh, bravo, Laurie, bravo.
Wiggly
You don't want it to progress into the wiggly top.
That's when it gets calloused and then the creams do nothing.
Yeah, I mean it'll fall right off. I've seen it happen.
fall off?
Not to me, but other people.
What have you heard about it?
What have I heard? I heard Hi, I'm Aragormless, by the way. Great to meet you. Great to meet you. Great to meet you.
What a firm accent.
Cash grab him.
Cash grab. Good to meet you, young
Really
man. Good
nice
to meet you.
Oh,
Good to
thank
meet
you. Yeah,
Wizard
nice to meet you too.
Steve.
Wizard Steve.
Yeah.
Yes. Wizard, your first name, is that a title?
It's both.
Okay. Fantastic. Love that. Love that.
What a good job you
Wizard
chose for
Steve.
yourself.
Wizard Steve, yes.
On certain forms, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, I'm here. I'm here for the people. Here to help out the people.
Yeah.
Other people kind of more motivated by cash. I'm just about doing the right thing. But that's okay. That's okay that you.
Hey, you know what? I'm 10 years
think
old
that.
and it's my dream. So I'm just gonna
That's
grab them
noble.
all and also get cash.
Yeah, and I was really drawn here by its nickname.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is its nickname? And I heard that its nickname was the reckoning of men.
Reckoning of men.
Reckoning of men. And I'm a man who wants to be reckoned. I don't shy away from a good reckoning. So I thought it's
You might want to speak to the friar.
it's the right thing. It's the right thing to go and face this beast.
What has everyone else heard about what it looks like? Because as I said, it does have the face of a blobfish, and similarly has the body of what you would imagine if a blobfish was a human.
Yeah.
Very similar sort of gelatinous body.
Okay, so kind of like an axolotl, a little bit, but bigger.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Except, no, it's got my arms and legs that it's added to its collection. That
It
maybe
adds them
it's-
onto its body.
So actually, that would make sense. 'Cause I have heard many rumours of it having many, many, many arms and many, many, many legs, but looking like they all belong to different people.
But do they
And
turn
sometimes walking on
gelatinous
the
as well?
hands and holding things with the feet. Almost as if, yes, it's not really part of its body.
Yes.
Do those arms and legs turn gelatinous as well?
I think over time they do, because it's actually a very bad case of wiggly tough has happened here.
Oh, no.
And eventually they callus and
dear.
they become part of the gelatinous body.
Right, okay. Well, that's not good. Well, I've heard that it also lies traps with the gelatin. It takes bits of its gelatinous body off and places them around the forest. And if you accidentally walk into it, it covers them in leaves. And if you accidentally walk into it, you can't get out. It sucks you in, and you're stuck in this goo, and you can't get out. It's horrible, and it slowly corrodes away your skin. But I don't know why it would want to do that when it's trying to collect, grab them all, grab all your limbs and stuff. I kind of actually understand this monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that. I mean, if one of you falls into one of those traps, I'll get you out of there.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aragorn.
The thing that worries me the most.
Aragormless, yeah.
Aragormless.
Yes.
Okay, go.
The thing that worries me the most is I've heard that it has an ability to affect people's dreams and minds for miles around, and that the really scary thing that it's done is get everyone to vote for Sheriff Crinklenut, who's a wicked man and evil, and no one says they remember voting for him. I think it was the work of this beast. I think it got into people's dreams and on polling day, and we all went and voted for Crinklenut, the wickedest sheriff in all of.
I don't think I would have voted for Crinklenut.
But I think you did, because he got 100% of the vote. Did you vote?
Did I vote?
Of course I voted.
Then
I'm a
you
good
definitely
citizen.
voted for Crinklenut.
I'm too young to vote, so I think I'm okay.
Well, maybe, possibly, but I don't know. I don't know. You might have voted anyway.
So do you think Crinklenut is in league with this monster?
I couldn't possibly say, because my mind was addled as well. Luckily for me, I was going to vote Crinklenut. But
Well, he has a fantastic position on poultices and collecting, things in the woods. So
I just don't want the work I do to be nationalised.
Yes. No, me either.
And I hate people from over there.
There's a town just called Over There. It's about 5 miles down the road.
They're always coming over here, expect on their health tourism, trying to get their poultices for free. I won't stand for it.
Yeah, and you do live in a town called Over Here.
I think the actual monsters may be here.
I think so. But now he's the mayor as well.
No.
We don't know if my backwards beliefs are actually just my mind being addled by dreams, to be fair to
But
me.
you do recognize them as backwards.
Shouldn't talk about politics or religion.
It's not good for an adventuring party.
Even though I'm clearly a cleric, clearly a monk.
I heard it has another ability as well.
What's that?
I heard it can read your thoughts and read your deepest fears, and create those fears in a kind of jelly form in front of you.
Oh, I have so many fears.
Yeah, see, I mean, I have none, so that's why I wanted to come here.
But if it can affect our dreams to make us vote for Sheriff Crinklenut,
Yes.
And it can read our minds and imagine our thoughts and then
Yes.
create our fears, then presumably it can implant fears in our dreams psychically.
And then we'll be afraid of
them, and
everything.
It could
God.
potentially make us afraid of anything.
It's Jelly Kruger.
It's Jelly Kruger!
That's his name, Jelly Kruger.
My old pimp!
Oh, this is really bad.
Jelly Kruger.
You'll never get out of this game, Firefuck. Your name only works in this profession.
I found gods!
We're all, I suppose we're all wondering, where does it live?
Yes, I've been wondering this.
And I think it's
Over there. I knew it.
it's sort of it's in the town of, round that way.
Oh no, not
Not
that
round
way.
that way. I hate that place.
Yeah,
Barbarians.
yeah. No one goes to the town of, round that
Round
way.
that way. Oh.
It's horrible down there.
Yeah.
They wear almost nothing except for small patches of animal furs and helmets with horns.
Oh,
and
why do they do that?
They body mod animal tusks into their teeth.
Oh no, you got that confused. That's not that one. It's not round that way. It's the other one.
You must sleep now, Mrs. Mears.
No, it's the other one. The other left.
The other left.
Not that left. The other left.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
past
that
the
one.
not first stop on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we really need better town names.
Yeah, we do.
Well, it's the best way to work it out. You just got to know where you start, and then
Yeah.
you name them all from there.
What do they look like in the other left?
Well, over there they all wear capes. And there's nothing
you
scarier
from
than
there?
that.
Are you from there?
No.
Are you sure?
No, this is a cloak.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I got
No.
confused. Okay.
No, I'm from that way,
I mean,
where we all wear cloaks.
the problem is right now is, right now we're in the middle of the swamp. So, how do we get to round that way?
Well, that's a
From
good
here.
question.
Well, I think we have to swim through. There's a river that leads from the swamp to round that way. But the problem is, what else lives nearby? Little tiny flaming like reptiles. They're just all over. They're all around the river, and they're all really spiky and flamey, and they don't like people going through the river to round that way. So we gotta be really careful going around that way.
Don't worry, I'll make sure everyone's all right.
Okay.
Well, we've got to try, because I've heard that it protects and guards the end of this sentence. It protects and and guards.
He's having the dreams again.
Whoa! The poultice, quickly!
Just smearing it on the bald patch.
Mr. Rylance, you're backstage. You're backstage.
No. I was having such a wonderful dream. I was playing Friar Tuck, but it wasn't Friar Tuck. He was an ex-prostitute. And you were there, and you were there, and you were there. And it was a wonderful play. But no. No, I'm not played by Mark Rylance. Mark Rylance is played by me. What does it guard? It guards the secret mirror, which legend tells us if you look into the mirror, you see the true reality. What do you think of that?
True
and
reality.
if we don't go and face this ourselves, then we'll all die, and our entire world will collapse.
So
what do you think of that?
Well, the true reality. So is the true?
It sounds so made up. It must be true.
I think you're onto something, because we've all had these.
It does say
false,
everything is true.
We've had these false images and fears and stuff placed into our minds that we really believe now. What do we know is actually true? Unless we have that mirror.
It
we
all
gotta
comes
show
back
the
to
mirror.
Crinkle Nut.
We gotta show that mirror to everyone, so that we can all learn that Crinkle Nut is the asshole he actually is.
Yes, because what if we're all just parodies of something else? And we need to see what we really are, so that we can be free from this living hell.
I don't think Wizard Steve is a parody of anything.
I am no parody of nothing. I'm not a parody of Wizard Sleeve. He is a horrible man, and he's my rival. I didn't steal his name.
Did you steal his cloak?
No.
I think he stole his cloak. What about the hat? What's
No,
this
no.
Oh, okay. Don't touch
Don't
the
look
hat.
inside the hat. It says my name. It says my
It
name.
doesn't say his name.
It says my name.
But does his head go all the way to the top of the hat?
It does. It's terrifying.
Oh my goodness.
I was born a freak.
This is hard to watch.
A cone of bone and skin.
Oh, don't
That's really
expose the
hard
cone.
Oh yeah, they're all like that over yonder.
Oh, you're from over yonder.
Yes.
Oh,
But we cone-headed people have terrible lives.
oh, why is that?
Well, we're shaped like spikes.
Oh, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
I do.
I like your spiky head.
You're very kind. Going to a barber's is very difficult.
But if everyone around here has cone heads, why is it difficult?
Well, it's only in my town,
Oh,
and they don't train barbers for cone heads.
There ain't enough step ladders in the kingdom, is what I hear.
It's a nightmare.
They can get halfway up, but they never get to the top, do
It's
they?
really difficult to get a short back and sides.
And at this point, someone leans into the campfire where you're all gathered and just says, "So what? You gonna go fight it then?"
of course.
Who are you?
I'm the mysterious man what leans in at the right time to prompt you to go to the
Haven't you
next
heard of
point.
the mysterious man?
Wait, have you been here?
Wait,
the
hold
whole-
on.
I've heard
I've
the
been
whole
here the
conversation.
whole time.
I've heard the mysterious man is 20 years old.
Yeah,
I'm
And
20
he's
now.
big.
I'm
and
20
I heard
now.
he looks like this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I look like.
And I hear he lives around a bunch of adventurers.
Yeah,
I'll
around
follow them
here.
around and I'll give them advice at the right time.
And I hear he lies traps for people to get them to go see monsters.
You better
That's
watch
the
out,
gap in the story.
You better watch out, mysterious man. I'll answer this question about you.
What has he done? What hasn't he done?
Oh no, he has no shame.
All right, so as the fire begins to dwindle, you guys drift off to sleep, ready to set out the following day to face this beast. Find the secret mirror and discover who you really are.
We're off to see the beast, the horrible beast in the swamp.
Okay, so now we move on to the second part of Have You Heard About the Beast, where you are going to meet the beast.
Sorry, these goddamn addictive dice. It's magnetic, it just feels so good.
very satisfying.
They're really, really satisfying. In this half, we're going to be using slightly modified Powered by the Apocalypse rules. If you haven't played Powered by the Apocalypse, it's a 2d6 system, in which case I won't be rolling any dice as the DM. I will just be throwing prompts your way about what is happening on this little adventure. If you roll the dice, if you roll a 10 and above, That's a success. The thing you want to happen happens. If you roll a 7 to a 9, that is a partial success, which means something bad might happen to you in turn, or alternatively, something bad might happen to somebody else in your party.
That seems quite hard.
And if you roll a 1 to 6, bad luck. That's a failure. I get to go. No. There's no initiative order, there's nothing like that. It's a bit of a melee jump in, but I will be trying to pass the spotlight around the room as we go. The other thing is you've all got characters. You will have 5 health, 5 big ones on the health points. You also have an ability, depending on your class, if you are the fighter. You have resist, which I think will be, you can spend those 3 to block some damage sometimes, or you can use however you want to define resist. It's very loose. I don't mind. This is a system I've invented 5 minutes before we started doing this. We have avoid on the ranger, which is pretty similar to that. If you can work out another way that you can avoid an awkward conversation, you can spend that if you want to. We've got a cleric, is Dom. Dom can heal 3 times. And we have a mage. Sullivan can cast 3 times. We've said that basically spells are like cantrips mostly, but if you want to do something big, something really brash, you have to spend a cast instead. Characters also have different stats. They've got strength, dex, wits, and power. Strength is your fighting and your constitution. Dex is your ranged abilities and your dodging. Wits is your ability to charm or remember or use your knowledge and use your religion in your case. And power is your magical might and your ability to resist power. You've all got pluses and minuses in certain stats and 0 in all the others. So mostly it's going to be straight rolling and we will see what happens.
I'd like to spend a heal point to heal my childhood wounds.
You can do that.
If only it was that easy.
Mark it off. So you guys awake after a fitful night's sleep. Dreams disturbed by rallies. Rallies on behalf of Mayor Crinklenut, in which you were fervently members of the crowd chanting and taking part. Dreams that you really remember. You would necessarily side with all of you. You awake on this little sort of pontoon outcrop in the swamp town of Sticky End, which is a kind of ramshackle, hastily boarded together, almost flotilla of a town. Various little vendors and people knocking about. And you know that you have to pass through this swamp, swim through the river, as described by Cash Grabham, to reach where the beast lives. You know, over there. Or round that way. Round that way. So, you begin to gather your things and traipse through the sludge and the mire of the swamp. And as you go, you make good progress, despite the kind of cloying mass of the mud as it grabs onto your ankles and your boots, beginning to try to suck you down. But you, Cash Grabham, lollygagging at the back, walking your own way off the path ever so slightly. You reach a point at which you start to feel slight resistance in the air ahead of you, but you push forward just that little bit more, and one of your arms begins to suck into something translucent in front of you.
Guys! Help! Eric Orms, you said you would help me if this happened. Please,
what's that? Can't quite hear you.
I'm stuck in the goo!
I'm way ahead of you, way ahead of you.
The sensation begins to get more intense as you can feel this thing beginning to swallow, and you can feel the mass begin to move around your body. It's coming up to your elbow. What are you going to do?
I try to make my arm as small as possible and wiggle it this and that way, and then slowly go.
Roll me wits.
Oh,
you
no.
could spend an avoid point to not hear.
I got a 5.
Oh no! What's your stat in wits? 0. Okay, so on a 5, you try to wiggle your arm, but as you do, it has that kind of quicksand effect, and you actually end up almost in up to the shoulder, and now you can feel like your right ear is beginning to get absorbed in this, and your skin is burning as this is happening. happening. Is
I-
anyone else doing
I
anything?
look behind. I look behind, and I realise that this is actually happening.
Help!
And I see an opportunity for some heroism. So I'm gonna run up to young Cash and Grab and
Cash and grab.
try. It's all right, Cash and Grab. I've got you.
It's cash grab, but okay.
Not
thank
important
you.
right now. We'll sort that out later. I'm gonna try and. Is there a way? I
You
can
could
use-
always sever the arm off
No,
and
no,
then
no,
I'll
no, I want
cauterize
my
it with
arm.
my poultices.
No, thank you. I would like my arm if possible.
Well,
Is
it
there a way
might
I
not
can
be
use my dex here? Guess I could kind of leverage my own body against Cash and Grab's to kind of try and. I'm gonna like hook my leg around a nearby tree,
Yep.
and I'm gonna kind of lean.
Okay. I
From
think
the
that's
tree.
more wits than that is dex.
What? Come on, I can't come up with all the ideas.
Someone save Cash and Carry, quick.
Give me the wits roll.
Okay, I've got bad wits.
Oh, that's a
sorry.
shame, isn't it?
Oh no, I wish I had opened my mouth.
You're trying to leverage. What is it?
11.
It's 11.
11. Okay, so you managed to wedge one foot under Cash Grabham's other leg, and you managed to get one arm around the tree, and you use the kind of leverage. You guys maybe begin to help out as well, just putting in this thing. Your arm begins to tear away, and as it does, you can see the hole that's left as your arm pops out of this thing, and you can see almost all the way straight through, and there is bits of armor and bone and skulls floating in this kind of gelatinous blob in front of you. You can see bits of your own skin in the mix beginning to slightly dissolve out from under you. You're not going to take any damage from that, but you can see that that's kind of damaged. And this thing now begins to roll towards you. It's not a cube, it's a blob, and you can see the bottom of it kind of undulating like the bottom of a snail or a slug as it begins to move its way towards
Are you
you.
all right, cost
Steve?
cutters?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
You guys fall out of the way, but it's coming for you. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is just like that dream I had last night, except in my dream I woke up scared of lampshades for some reason and toothbrushes. I don't know why I'm scared of those now, but it reminds me of that. Oh no! I'm going to try and I'm going to run, leap, swing on a branch to get myself a bit more distance because I imagine that's doable.
Yeah, to get away from it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let's have a roll.
At least get further away than one of these people.
Jumping, swinging on a branch is dexterity.
Good. That's one of the things that I need to improve at.
What's your stat in it?
-1.
-1.
Good to have some practice.
That's an 8,
An 8.
which is 7.
7. Okay, so on a 7 is a success. You do manage to get away.
Hooray!
So you manage to jump and swing out of the way, but as you do, one of your feet trailing in the air manages to hit Wizard Steve.
Oh no!
He stumbles forwards, head first into this thing, just, and your head just goes straight in. What are you doing?
Oh no!
He'll be all right. He's got head to lose.
Yeah, it's just the top
It's just the top.
It's just
Yeah.
a cone.
You're like, actually, leave me for a few minutes.
And you would,
Let's
think, you
go.
would think the cone doesn't give it good purchase, but the cone is just more traction for this thing as it begins to. You've pierced straight into this, and it's like
Aerodynamic.
It's just fully
Deeper in than you should have done.
You don't want it to get over the slight lip that you have as well. Like you've got it's a cone, and then you've got a slight lip here. And if it gets over that, then there's maybe no getting you out.
So gross.
It's like
The bony ridge. That's where the hat rests.
yeah.
Not my bony ridge.
The over yonderers with their bony ridges.
I'm going to stick the my staff into the gelatinous blob and cast firebolt from within.
Nice.
Okay, let's have a magic roll, please.
Come on.
Oh no, that's only a 6.
Oh.
6 plus 1.
If it's power, then yes.
Yeah, so it's power roll. So 6 plus 1 is 7, which means you achieve what you want to achieve, but something happens. So you stick your fireball in there, but obviously, like the wand goes off, and you see this eruption from the inside. You guys almost see it like in slow motion. It's like a lava lamp. This flame shoots upwards and then begins to billow out amongst all the kind of gelatinous goo. However, the thing begins to recoil around you, and that kind of trapped fireball is hanging around for a lot longer, and you get singed ever so slightly as you come out. So we're going to take some damage from you. You take 1 point of damage, but you're out of there.
Okay,
Nice.
great.
The cube, the gelatinous thing, begins to dissolve around where the fire was. It's maybe now half the size it was when you came into contact with it.
It's weak to fire.
It doesn't like fire.
It doesn't like fire.
What are you doing?
I'm going to shoot another firebolt into the hole.
Okay, let's have another roll with power.
Here we go. Oh yes, that is a 9 plus 1 is 10.
10. Okay, on a 10. So you stick your staff out, and the opening begins to erupt, and you see this fireball form on the edges, and it swirls in a kind of circular pattern and then pirouettes through the air towards this thing. As it comes into contact, you can see the sort of jelly begin to melt away, starting at the top, and then the flames roil over the top and then back underneath, and all of this thing just dissolves out of existence.
Well done, Wizard Steve.
Thank you very much.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, I'd like to see Wizard Sleeve do that. He wouldn't be able to do that with his normal head.
Does he have like really long sleeves?
He's got lovely long sleeves.
Oh, are his arms really long like your head?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They're so cool.
He sounds pretty cool.
He sounds way cooler than Wizard Steve.
No, he couldn't do that.
No, he couldn't. That was really awesome.
Yeah,
that was
thanks,
really
guys.
Awesome.
That was great. You did a really good job.
Thanks, guys.
You truly are a wizard.
Thank you.
Do we
going to be
think
saying
that
that a lot.
the main beast is also, might also not like fire? Because if so, we should try to make our weapons fiery.
Oh,
You know? So maybe I should cover the end of the spiky ball of my weapon in like cloth with like alcohol or something.
Oh,
And then you can light it on fire, and then I can go whatcha with the fire.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah?
That'd be
Okay,
well
we gotta
cool.
find alcohol and a cloth.
Anyone got cloth?
I look down at my robe. I don't know where we could look.
You got cloth on you.
No.
You got your cloak. That also almost sounds like cloth.
We could take your sleeves off. You could have a tank top.
Yes.
You don't need the sleeves.
Yeah, you look so
We don't
cool.
want people to confuse you for
Wizard
wizard sleeves.
sleeves.
No, I wouldn't want to be confused with Wizard Sleeve.
No, well,
Well, we
let's
should
take
take
the
your
sleeves
sleeves
off
off.
then.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, does anyone else have a weapon that needs to be covered in cloth?
Oh, I don't actually know what my weapon is. Probably, I guess I'd have a sickle. Maybe a sickle.
A sickle.
Sickles are cool.
Sickle's cool.
Yes. All right, I'll have
Here
a
you
sickle.
go.
Oh, thanks. Wrap that in the sickle.
Okay, who
in
has
the
alcohol?
wizard sleeve.
Anyone got alcohol?
Oh wait, I forgot I do.
That's what your mum gave you when you set out on this great
Yeah.
adventure. You
Oh,
on
here
your
you go,
10th
cash
birthday. Yeah. As is tradition in our village, you have to go out now, 10 years old, for the rest of your life. See you never.
Okay, it's ready, but don't light it on fire yet, because we gotta find it first.
Yes, otherwise it'll burn up the cloth, and I want to use these sleeves again.
Oh no.
A quiet falls over your party as you begin to contemplate what lie you might tell Wizard Steve about the cloth that you're going to use to burn. As you begin to trudge through the rest of the Sticky End swamp, you find yourselves confronted with this great river. You kind of broach through the trees, and in front of you, the water is vast and wide and running very quickly. You need to make your way down here, you know. How are you going to do it?
Okay, guys, I'm gonna try it out first, and then you can find out if it's good or not.
Okay, so you're just going to jump in.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a strength roll.
Oh, +1. Oh no, it's 4 + 1 is 5.
5, okay. So on a 5, you jump in and the river just takes you. You are not just screaming, the river, like you hit and you land in this rapidly moving current. You land and you spin, and the spinning just doesn't stop, and you are pulled under and under and under. Strength again, please.
Oh no. That's a 12 plus 1, that's
so
13.
you managed to stop yourself from you managed to right yourself, and you managed to keep your head above the water, but that is still moving rapidly. Is anyone going to help? What's going to
I'm
happen?
going to chuck a rope.
I
Just
messed
gonna
up.
loop a rope and chuck it.
Thank you, Aragorns.
Do I need to?
Yeah, dexterity
Yeah.
for that.
That's 6.
6. 6 is a fail. So you take this rope from your satchel and you really hastily try to make a couple of knots in it so you can chuck it out into the water. But you realise that the end just isn't weighted enough to throw as far out as how quickly Cash Grab'em is going down this river. Has anyone else got any other ideas?
Do you not know any magic spells that could help? I suppose you could.
Oh my god.
Could you freeze the river?
That might freeze.
Do you have
Cash
water
Grab'em.
walk? Water walk would work.
I'm going to use massively extending stick.
Massively extending stick, okay. Describe massively extending stick.
With this magical ability, which is definitely an ability, I will grab a nearby stick and it will massively extend.
Okay, give me a power roll.
She's so popular at parties.
I had clients who promised this. It never worked out. Yes, predictable.
3 plus 1 is 4.
I've heard of
3
these
plus
things
1
before.
is 4.
not a
Okay,
real
so you pick this stick up and you wave your wand over the top of it, and it does massively extend directly into the back of Aragormus, who falls into the river. You are dragged under the water immediately, and as you're under there, you can see the kind of tumultuous top of this river, like gushing away above you. But you look down for a second, and stood some meters below you, on the bottom of this river, on the bed of the river, is a figure, a woman, and she waves to you and she beckons, and you can hear this sort of sonorous chanting begin to fill your ears. It's almost like whale song, just like beautiful music, and you're drawn to it.
You will.
Give me a roll. What should we have here? Let's have a wits roll, shall we?
Wow, she's pretty fit.
We must have been.
Yep, pretty fit.
Yeah, I think she's pretty fit.
Yeah. What did you roll?
I rolled a 6 minus 1.
6 minus 1. Yeah. She is pretty fit. You want to see from closer, and you begin to swim further and further down into the bed of this river towards this woman who, despite beckoning you and singing to you and seemingly standing in one place, gets no closer as you swim deeper and deeper into this water. Let's have a strength roll to see how long you can hold your breath for here.
Oh,
10.
not bad.
10. Okay, well, on a 10, on a 10 you are managing to hold your breath perfectly. You're not struggling in any way, shape, or form. What are you going to do to try and get out of this situation?
I'm gonna try to remember that even though she's really fit, there's a child in danger, and there's nothing less attractive to women than letting children
Drown.
drown. So
I can't confirm.
just gonna try and I can't slap myself as I'm underwater, but just kind of try and
It's on the first page of the game.
come on,
let
Aragorn.
kids drown.
Not in front of them.
Not in front of him.
Not
You're gonna do it.
Don't
do it
take
in
negging too
secret.
far.
Not in front of them. Not in front of the ladies.
Okay, so you're trying to remember. I think that's probably a wits roll.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey, if you want to do something dexterous to get out of it, do something dexterous.
But I'm enchanted.
You
though,
are
right?
enchanted.
So I wouldn't. Oh,
Yes.
that's 11.
11, wonderful. Okay, so you managed
Minus
to...
1.
So 10. 10's still a success.
Okay.
So you managed to remember that, like, a child is in danger, and what could possibly be more attractive to this woman stood on the bottom of the riverbed than saving a child directly in front of
Yeah,
her?
I'm like,
and you start, and you're literally just like, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Get me 5 minutes. And then you start to swim full speed towards Cash Grab'em, who has managed to. Let's have a roll from you to see how well you're struggling against the tide.
God. Oh, what kind of roll is this?
Strength.
9.
9. Okay.
Yes.
So you're managing to hold it. You are managing to hold yourself in place above the water, and you feel that you might be able to hold out long enough for Aragormus to reach you. What are you doing?
I'm looking at this twig and saying, "Is that it?"
No, trust me, this doesn't always happen. No, it's fine.
Well, we didn't get much sleep, and I guess you've had a bit to drink. So
The stick has
I get
started to droop
nervous.
at the end.
I get nervous sometimes.
It's cold. It's really cold.
It's starting to retract like a tape measure.
Work! Will you work?
May I try?
Yeah, give it a go.
All right, magic roll, power. Let's have power.
I find thinking about Jesus helps. Yep, that's a 10.
That's a 10. You barely have to touch it. You don't even take it out of his hands. You just tickle the end, and it just into the water.
And I put my hand on your shoulder and go, I wasn't always a monk.
It's those gigolo powers coming into play. So the really extending stick or whatever it was called, the massively extending stick fires out into the water.
We all need to be put in a
Prison.
need to be put in a little box like these.
Yeah.
Okay, well you're still holding it, so let's have a roll from you to see if you can guide it towards Cash Grab'em.
Great. Is that dexterity?
Yes.
Oh, it's only a 5.
A 5. Okay, so there's a moment where you're paddling in the water, Cash, and you see this huge stick shoot out a little bit, like maybe 5-10 meters down from you, and then it begins to sort of haphazardly slap the surface of the river, hits you in the face once. You can never quite grab it. Let's see if you can make the rescue instead.
Why can't I grab it?
What are you going to do to rescue Cash Grab'em?
It's in my name.
Going to try to get to the surface of the water, see the stick, and I'm going to try and jump and pull the stick down so that we can kind of both climb out.
Dexterity.
Great, Laurie.
That's how I keep you on the hook, Tilly.
11.
11.
Nice.
Okay, so you managed to, with one swift kick, you managed to breach the surface like a beautiful dolphin, fly up into the air, and you grab two-handed onto this stick and pull it back down with quite a splash right next to Cash, and you can both now grab on.
That was awesome.
I'm going to have strength from both of you, though, to hoik them out.
Yeah. Well, I'm -1 on my strength.
If we drop it now.
Let's say, what is it,
Just
12?
snaps.
So you've got maximum 24 that you can roll here. I'm going to need at least above 12 combined from both of you to do this.
Okay. Oh, 5 from me.
7.
Okay, 12.
Yeah,
that's
just.
fine. Yeah.
Oh no,
okay.
wait, was that strength? Oh no, strength is 0. Yeah.
Strength
Oh
is
no,
zero.
no, sorry, no. 5 minus 1.
Oh,
4.
Okay. I'm going to say that counts as a partial success in this instance.
Okay.
Which
So-
one of us gets out?
Yeah, you kind of like hook a duck. You manage to get, you've managed to drag this thing down into the water, and you manage to sort of haphazardly force the sort of end of the rod through the back of Cash Grab'em's shirt, and then like hook a duck, you guys lift them out of the water, and you sort of crane them over onto the land and drop them back down again. You, however, have just remembered that there's a certain someone waiting for you in the middle of the riverbed.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
You'll
Well,
learn about it when you're
Aragorn-
older.
Let's see. Let's have a wits roll to see if you can resist.
You love your wits rolls, yeah.
I do. I'm so smart and clever. That's not gonna work. That's a 9 minus 1 is an 8.
An 8, so a partial success
Okay.
so you might remain in danger. You stick your head under the water to see if that figure is there, and she is this far away from you. She is right up in your face. She's the
pretty
most
scary.
beautiful woman
Never mind. Not
you
scary.
have ever seen. And you look at her and you see the kind of the form begins to shift and shimmer ever so slightly in the water. There's a sort of brief moment where, as the light passes over the top, you see as sort of Cash is lifted out, a shadow falls across her quickly, and then the sun hits again as that shadow passes. She becomes translucent for a very brief second in that, and you think that's strange, and you begin to turn and swim back, but her hand reaches out and grabs you and begins to pull you down below the waves.
Oh, women aren't translucent!
How are you going to resist this?
I think I'm gonna try and wriggle out of my top.
Okay, you're going to wriggle out your top.
Yeah. What's that?
That's a dex.
Yeah! Oh no.
Incredible.
Rubbish.
What did you get?
3.
Plus one.
That's a 4.
It's a 4.
It's not the worst fail you can have, but it's not the best fail either.
Your laugh of derision.
You do manage to wriggle out. You manage to get one of your arms out of this top, but now it is trapped on the inside and you are underwater. The other arm is being held very tightly by this person, and she just begins to quite easily drag you down towards the bed of the river. Is anyone going to help?
I'm going to try and cast a levitation spell on you.
Okay.
Right.
To levitate you out the water. Okay. That is 7 plus 1 is 8.
8. Okay, so that's going to work. So you fire off this levitation spell into the water, and it kind of, you see it cleave through. This kind of magical energy emanates from your staff, and then these figures rise out of the water. You've got Aragormless halfway into a top, head's almost gone in now as well, like just basically a bundle in a t-shirt, and then this translucent thing hanging off, and you guys see as it comes up into the light, this kind of rainbow shimmer as the light passes through it, almost like light through a prism, and then it forms into the shape of a woman, then it forms into the shape of just sort of loose goo as it begins to hang off you, and then that goo begins to move up your arm where it's holding you, and it begins to make its way up towards your head as you're floating them over. What are you going to do, or what is anyone going to do to help?
I'm going to set my sickle with the alcohol-soaked wizard sleeve on fire after I've tied it to my rope belt, and I shall swing it around and try and hook the thing, and hopefully the fire will upset it enough to get back in the river.
Okay, so this is a pretty... So you're not really trying to damage it, you're not trying to use your strength to damage it, you're just trying to do something quite dexterous here, I think.
Or it could be my strength, you know? Doing this alone.
Sorry, I have to take your first answer, Dom.
Maybe even I'm using my wits. Oh, I see.
This is dexterity.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see. We've not done an RPG where I get to be mean yet. So.
Well, suck on that. That's a 12 minus 1. That's an 11.
You do it perfectly. This is you managed to hook this sickle in, and it just latches perfectly into this thing, and it was a kind of precise throw. It looks like almost like you've just lobbed a dart in it. It lands with such sort of grace, but the flame just spreads immediately down this thing, burning it all off of you. You manage to. You're quite wet and sodden at this point. This thing catches like it was just a tinderbox ready to go up. You, because you're wet and sodden, your clothes don't catch, so you are just levitated. This thing is slamming off you. You guys can see almost fireworks as bits of this thing begin to sort of melt and drop through the sun. There's all these kind of shimmering bits of rainbow colour as it falls through the air, and then you drop down onto the floor. Perfectly fine.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that will happen sometimes.
I think that's a sign of the beast.
Yeah, I think a lot of these things have been signs of the beast.
And they've all been jelly. What's
They've
up with
all been
that?
jelly. Where are all the fire reptiles, huh? I heard they were all around the river. I guess some of I don't know what's happening.
Can I have my belt back, please? Thank you.
Oh, that's what that is. Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
How are you going to make your way down the river then, folks?
Can you somehow craft like a magical raft?
I could always do stick made into raft spell.
Do it.
I don't think that's a... not a good idea.
Power roll, please, Sullivan.
That's a 5.
Plus 5 total.
While he's casting that
wizard.
spell, can I try and just make a raft?
Yeah, you can try and make a raft. Let's
help
do.
you.
We do. Yeah.
I'm just trying.
Okay, let's have a dexterity roll.
Can we, if we're helping, though, can
Yeah. Okay. Let's all roll. Whoever gets the best on this, if you're all helping.
What's this dexterity?
It's all dex.
Oh God. Well, I got a 4.
I got a 7.
You got a 7. Okay. Right. Okay. So you are hitting this. You're repeatedly hitting this stick you found with your wand, and just
Don't worry, I'll take care of this.
There's like nothing. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing happening. You're shaking the wand. You're looking down the end of it. At one point, the stick just pops up into your face as you're doing
Turn
it.
the wand
But
over
it's only ever like this big.
Oh, I've made it into instrument.
Yeah.
I've made it into instrument.
You guys managed to chop a few trees down around the place, and you do lash them together into something resembling a raft.
Yeah, I think that was all me. Just kidding.
When you were in the
Good job.
river, was the current particularly fierce?
It was
Because-
horrible.
Oh dear.
It was really strong.
This is just lashed together with grass.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
Is there some sort of like protection spell or something we could put on it to make it maybe go through the water a bit better?
I mainly know stick spells.
Could
we
you
could
make a
do-
big stick that we can use as like to push us
Like a punt?
along? Yeah.
or
Like a gondola.
gondola,
Yeah,
yeah.
just a little gondola stick.
what if we all lay on the raft and wrap my belt around and strap ourselves to the raft?
How big is your belt?
I'm not the slimmest man here, so I think
Big
we'd
enough to go around a whole raft?
I would argue that his belt is probably a bit of cord, so it's probably quite long. You could have like the kind of friar tuck where it's like the wrapped up bit of rope.
Okay.
Sounds
Sounds
all-
safe.
sounds very
Are
safe.
you all doing that?
That sounds like a horrible
What are you guys? This sounds so safe. I mean, I
Okay,
don't
so you
know.
guys are going to do
I don't
that?
know what the issue is. It sounds really safe.
I think I might cast levitation on us.
That sounds great.
We just float
and we just
across.
walk across.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds
We'll be
like a
fine.
much better idea.
Why don't we strap ourselves all to the raft and then you cast levitation
Oh,
on the raft?
no, you guys have fun with it. No, you can have fun with
Yeah,
that.
I think we'll be fine.
Okay, well, good luck with the levitation with this
you.
fantastic wizard. He's
Okay.
never missed so far.
Dexterity rolls from you two to tie yourself to the raft. Power roll from you to cast levitation on you two.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, yes! An 11!
Unbelievable.
Okay.
4.
Three.
Floating by.
Yeah. So you guys are trying to. You guys spend a bit of time trying to lash yourselves to this raft. You
And
do
then presumably we
like-
have to walk it into the river
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, you put it on your back, and then you backflop into the river with it on your back, and you were aiming to sort of tie yourselves in by the waist to keep yourselves safe and secure. It ends up around your neck, around your hands slightly.
Should we help them?
You guys lift off the ground ever so slightly as this goes into the river, and one bit of the cord that's been used to tie them flaps behind, and you grab on as the momentum of this begins to take you away.
I'm like the woman in that roller coaster video when she slips through the thing and she's like,
Yeah. So you're going down the river like that on the terribly built raft that you built. Water is immediately leaking through this thing. You are staying afloat, but you are taking on water. And because you are tied flat to the raft, I need strength rolls from both of you to resist drowning.
All
Oh my
you've done
God.
is consign your fate to that of the raft.
Why do we tie ourselves?
Oh.
Idea.
7.
7.
Oh, my God. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh dear.
You haven't.
These are like super fail.
I think they're weighted towards the wall.
Luckily, corpses are really buoyant, so I'll be all right.
Oh, go on.
Stay on top
Okay.
of you.
I'm going to say, so you rolled a 7, so yours is a pass, but yours is a partial success. Okay, so we'll deal with you first, Tilly. You're almost, at one point as the river sort of jolts violently around a corner, you almost run up against the bank for a brief second, and that jolt causes you to turn in your restraints, and you turn face down into the wood of this thing. Your face is now pressed between like two logs, your nose sticking in. You can feel that the water is now just filling every orifice here. I'm going to need another roll from you to stop you taking damage. So this is going to be quite literally, if you fail this, you're going to take a point of damage.
Okay.
So strength roll.
Drowning.
8 is a partial success. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Because I think we'll just combine these two actual partial successes. You manage to avoid turning over as you run aground on this bit of the bank and have managed to get your head out and take a deep breath. As you do, you pull on the rope, which flings both of you hanging onto the rope. You're now flung forward as this thing crashes into the bank slightly, and you are both heading directly towards a tree. What are you doing to get out of the way?
Oh, God.
Should we use magic?
Yeah, I think I should I'm useless.
I'm going to use the spell Big Stick, otherwise known as Tree Go Away.
Spell for every occasion. What happens?
It's just going to make the essence of the spell is just moving, like pushing the tree with a great force over.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah. Let's see. That is an 8 plus 1 is 9.
9, okay, so another partial success. So on this partial success, what actually happens with Tree Go Away is the tree just retracts into the ground very quickly. It just goes, and you guys whip past it. But you're on a short leash here. There was a bit of slack as you hit the riverbank because you caught up with the raft, and you are whipped past this tree as it goes, whoop, and then the snapback on the rope begins to pull you back as the tree pops back up. What are you doing?
I'm going to kick my legs out like a certain direction to try to get us to swing around the tree. So like the rope will just, instead of us going right into the tree, I'm just going to kick our momentum.
Dexterity.
I love that so much. It's great idea. Oh, 10.
That is a 10.
A 10, okay, so you kick your legs out at the end of this thing, and on the way back, the kind of whip on the rope pulls you out clear back over the river, and the raft is now settled and beginning to move down. You guys spend a little bit of time untangling yourselves from the ropes and the trap that you've made. And the raft is barely holding together. You're having to bail it a lot on the way. You guys are just levitating quite nicely behind you. Actually having quite, I think by the end of it, you've sort of just tied the rope to your feet and you're just being dragged along like this. You guys are just constantly bailing water out of this terribly built.
This is real adventure.
He truly is a wizard.
And this river begins to sort of wind its way from the kind of swampy environs with these kind of big creeping willows and creeping trees and huge grasses growing out either side. Things start to become barren and darker, and then you pass into what seems to be a cave within a mountain, and you feel the river has taken a turn, and there is just this slow feeling of descent as your raft travels further and further into the deep of this mountain. The environment around you is, first of all, cave, like big rock walls and stalactites hanging from the ceiling. I don't know which one does which way, I can never remember.
Stalagmites, stalactites.
Stalactites hang down.
So I got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Oh, there, well done, me. Stalactites, and you can see like bats and their droppings kind of covering all areas of this cave. And then things become, well, more constructed. There seems to be a citadel of some type as you descend. This huge cavern opens up in front of you, and the river runs all the way down through these kind of aqueduct system almost into a central pool at the center of this citadel with these huge walls and these windows carved into the very stone of the earth. And your raft makes its way down and stops in this pool. What are you doing?
That was great.
Did you guys have a fun time?
Oh, we nailed it.
Yeah? It looked
No.
like you were struggling there for a bit.
No problem.
Oh, no.
That bit in the
that's
cave
good.
was like Pirate Adventure at Drayton Manor theme park. It was wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Where is that?
It's in the West Midlands
Oh.
of England, which is,
What's
Imaginary.
England?
I think the mirror will show us.
Oh, I don't know if I want the mirror now. Well, I guess I untie myself.
Yeah, so you guys, I guess, stop levitating. You land on the raft as the raft kind of comes ashore, and there's a moment of kind of calm as you disembark your terrible vessel,
Yeah, I was
which
going to say, I don't know if we've
almost-
if I've unstrapped my
yeah,
head yet. From the raft. I'm assuming I have.
You have, yeah. And as you step off, the raft almost immediately upends and just sinks into this lake
Like
that
the
you've been
Titanic.
in. And you can see, like, as it sort of goes beneath the surface, the last sort of edge of one of the logs disappears beneath the calm surface of this lake. Eerily calm lake. It's almost as if these skeletal hands appear out of the water and they cup the edge of it. Multiple of them. And they just pull this thing down.
Did you see the skeletal hands in the lake?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's not good.
it's not like Pirate Adventure at all.
No.
As you
No.
have this
Some bad
conversation, you hear this sort of chittering and cawing sound as something scrabbles from behind a ridge. Tiny red lizard.
Guys!
Spines down its back and a little flame flickering on the end of its tail.
It's the flame reptile!
It dashes up to you and stops.
Hi there, little guy. Oh, wow, you're really cool.
It's got that kind of like fight or flight moment in its eyes where it's not sure what to make of you.
We're gonna go. Is the beast nearby? Do you like the beast or do you not like the beast?
Roll wits to talk to this creature.
Back to hell, demon!
You just throw petrol at it.
That's a 7.
Okay, a 7. You asked it whether or not it likes the beast.
I've not asked a yes or no question.
You've not asked it a yes or no question. You see that there's this moment where the creature kind of almost comprehends what you're saying as it looks at you. You kind of get the sense from this animal that maybe it's as much a prisoner here as you might be now that you've made your way. But it also there's a moment of recognition as it seems to think you might be a friend, and then maybe a moment of resignation as it realizes what it must do, and its mouth opens. And you see this ball of gas turn to flame and flicker in its mouth as you hear the kind of clacking of some sort of tongue in the back of its mouth as it lights this thing. Flames erupt and it shoots a fireball out towards you. What are you doing?
I mean, I am cash grabbing. I'd probably just take that. I'd probably just let it flame me up. I jump back into the river.
Roll dex.
Oh, no.
River again.
Jesus Christ.
That's a 10.
Hey.
Okay, so you just go backwards and you fly back into the river like a perfect torpedo, and you breach the surface back like a reverse dolphin, I guess, and you sink below the waves. Come back to you. Everyone else, this little lizard has just gone and shot this fireball, which has just rocketed across the area that you're at, and it collides with a bit of the citadel on the wall, and you can see like chunks of it begin to break away and fall down. It makes this little cawing call sound, and you hear this as more of them appear over the top of this ridge, and they all line up, and then these mouths open one by one by one by one, and all these little balls of flame begin to ignite. What are you all doing?
Guys, don't fight them. They don't want to be here either. Let's just get out of here and get to the beast.
All you guys hear is. We've not said that yet.
I was like this.
I'm going to cast no bones. I'm going to try and make all of these animals have no bones.
They're nice.
Okay.
Don't hurt them.
I'm not hurting them. I'm just getting rid of their bones.
Them.
That's only a 6.
You point your wand at these creatures, and then you realise you're holding it the wrong way around, and your hand just drops it, and now it's just like a sock hanging on the end of your arm.
Oh no! I've got no bones.
That's what you deserve. Let's just get out of here.
What are you guys doing?
I'll fix that for you when you're I roll this for healing, so when you're closer to 4 hit points of damage, I'll try and heal you. But not right now. We've got to get out of this horrible situation.
We gotta get out of here.
Is there a large stalagmite nearby?
Absolutely.
I'm going to hide behind that.
until we've got a plan.
Okay. Let's have wits. Let's have wits to hide.
Make sure I don't confuse a stalagmite with the wizard's head. That's 7.
A 7. Okay, so you manage to, you dash behind this stalagmite, dragging Aragornless with you, let's say. There's a moment where you realise that the one you've picked might not be the biggest, and so you just kind of subtly take up a little bit too much of the space, pushing Aragornless out into the open.
Get your own stalagmite.
Multiple of these flame attacks are now flying directly at you, Aragornless. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna try and dodge him.
Okay, let's have a dex roll.
I've been rolling really well so far. May the luck continue. That's a 4.
That's a 4.
Plus 1 is 5.
Plus 1 is 5. Okay, so you try to roll out of the way.
Yeah.
And you do manage to dodge a fair few of these flame attacks as you leap to one side, rolling over. Multiple of these fireballs just pepper the walls behind you. Some of the stalagmites next to you just explode upwards. And then you, laying on the floor as all the rubble begins to fall around you, you can see that most of these things have settled for a second, but there is one still on the ridge, looking directly at you, flames still rotating in its mouth as it just looses this fire, which hits you directly in the chest. You're going to have to take a point of damage.
That's okay.
You could avoid it.
Okay,
Save that for the big one.
Save that for the big one.
Fair.
You, after you jump into the water, you dive back in and you slide under the surface and you're going to pop up to look out. In the moment that you're under the water, you see all around you these figures swirling. Just below the surface of the waves, these spectral people. They don't harm you. They don't try to attack you. They don't try to do anything. They just drift through this water in a lazy circle, round and round and round. A few of them appear to have latched onto the raft that you saw sink, and are just following it down to the bottom of this lake. And the rest are just swimming around you.
Hey, Spectral friends, do you want to help us defeat the beast?
Wits.
Come on, I want to Lord of the Rings this. That's a 6.
That is a 6. While you were just in the water, floating freely, they didn't seem to notice or take much interest in you. But when you speak, they all look your way, and the swimming becomes more frantic, and the lake itself begins to churn with their movement, and you begin to feel yourself dragged around under the water here. Let's have a strength roll.
I think they want to help, guys. That is a 12.
Okay, so on a 12, you manage to, you manage to kind of fight your way out of this. It's a struggle because the water is moving so quickly that you have to wait for the correct moment to sort of drag yourself out onto this beach, and you do feel this sensation that something of you is being pulled at. Not necessarily your body, but something is being drained from you while you were in that lake.
Oh no.
You managed to climb out and you are okay for the second. These creatures are still on the ridge.
Can I use one of my cast slots on a spell that would be many ball capture? I'm going to throw out hundreds of balls around this size that will capture using lasers.
Ball capture.
Many ball
Poorly
capture.
translated Pokemon.
Many ball capture.
Oh my god, can we make all of them our friends?
So all of them, I'm going to capture all of them in these balls. if
Okay, that's
okay.
absolutely fine.
Yes.
Let's do a power. Like you mark that off. So the aim with the mage is that you're doing a big spell now. This is what I originally called. I've called this cast. I called it big magic in my head for most of the things. It's a big magic. This solves a massive problem for you guys if you get this right.
Massively.
Come
Here we
on,
go.
come on.
It's 3 plus 1.
No!
It's 4. Many ball capture.
Okay, so you throw the. Well, you basically summon all these balls first of all into your arms, and you're like trying to do the really quick maths of how many of these little creatures there are on the ridge, and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and you just, and these balls are just appearing in your arms. And you realise that there's no good way to throw all of them. In your head, you have this image of yourself just doing this, and all of these balls would perfectly arc through the air and land and capture all these things. And what you actually do is sort of a pratfall stumble as these things spill out. There's a bit where you're picking them up and you're trying to put them back and they're still spilling. And as you do it, one of them rolls over and just taps the foot of Try a Fuck. And you see this thing go doop, and this light emits and begins to suck you down, and you feel yourself beginning to shrink. What are you going to do?
How close am I to the wizard?
You're probably within like 10 feet.
Can I try and, as I'm getting stuck, can I try and leap forward and grab a hold of him?
Yeah. Okay, let's have a... Are you trying to hold him? Are you trying to like force him to do something, or are you trying to just like grab him really quickly?
I'm trying to hold on to him to sort of anchor myself.
Okay, strength then.
Irrespective
to resist,
of the risk of it pulling him in as well.
Yeah, okay, fabulous. Let's do strength then.
Help! That's an 8.
That's an 8, okay, so that saves you, but does something horrible to somebody else potentially. So you grab hold of Wizard Steve, and you feel this thing still pulling at you. You are its intended target, but you're now in the light too. And there's a moment where, as it begins to pull you, you just manage to just shift your weight ever so slightly, and the bulk of the pull is now on you.
No!
What are you doing?
I'm going to cast undo. Apple's head.
Okay, cast undo.
6 plus 1 is 7.
Okay, 7. Okay, so I'm the worst wizard in the world.
What have you done so far? You slightly extended a stick and made a raft.
You did
for
make
I made us
a
float.
minute.
It float. Made you
That was
float.
good.
Thank you.
Oh, fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fireball.
You've done
Much
more than me.
earlier on.
I did
Okay.
start off
Okay.
really good.
Yeah.
So you cast, as this thing is pulling you manage to get your staff, and you manage to just sort of like over the shoulder of Try a Fuck, you manage to just go, and this beam of light emits from your staff and hits this ball, which turns and taps into the next ball. And that ball goes in, and then this ball hits another one and goes, and then you see them like a Russian doll. These balls are opening up and popping into each other until there's just one ball left.
The master ball.
The master ball. The master ball remains on the beach, unmoving. And while this is happening, you guys have been so distracted by this that you have been watching the balls ping pong into each other, cash grab them, and you've not noticed that these lizards have now formed a ring around you.
Oh.
And they all are bearing down on you. What are you going to do?
Oh,
The ring of fire.
well, hey guys. Glad to see the council has arrived and is considering to help us defeat the beast. You know, the big scary beast. He starts to like flail around and like act out like, we're going to fight the beast for you, and then you'll be happy.
Wits.
Wits.
That's a 5.
Oh yeah, they take all the flailing as an act of aggression.
Yeah,
and
that's
then they are just they just all open their maws, and this fire lights all the way around you. What are you going to do?
I don't want to hurt them. It's not their fault.
Sorry,
I've got ovens in their mouth.
I'm going.
The master ball is nearby. The
Master Ball is nearby. How near is the Master Ball to me?
probably within 5 feet.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna run to the Master Ball and grab it, and then try to bowl it so that it goes bloop, 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 and picks up each of them.
Okay, Dex.
Come on, I don't want to hurt them. That's a 9.
A 9. Okay. So on a
Oh wait, first I gotta turn my tricorn hat. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
yeah. So you turn the tricorn hat. What colour is the tricorn hat when you turn it around?
It's now red.
It's now red to match them. Okay, so you
Yeah,
pick up the master ball, which is just a really big version of these little balls that you've summoned. I guess they're kind of like, they look like they're made of wicker, I think probably, and this are like almost like wicker balls. And you grab it and you bowl it at these creatures, and it does perfectly do the circle that you wanted it to do, but it does the circle going.
No!
And it loses quite a lot of the momentum by the time it gets to the end, and it bumps into the final one, and the ball opens, and the light emits, and the final red lizard in this ball.
Oh, that sucks.
You killed so
Oh,
many.
I really didn't want to.
Oh, that's what his voice. You killed so many of those lizards.
Oh.
Well done.
You saved us all.
That's made me real sad.
You
Oh.
murdered every one of them.
You see that where the bodies were is now just piles of ash with small eggs in the center of them.
Are they like phoenix?
They're phoenix
Reptiles?
lizards. They're
Okay,
reborn.
don't touch the eggs because they might need to be moved to. Well, if they're moved, then maybe they won't be happy about that. So let's just leave them alone.
And what if we get hungry?
Don't you dare!
Okay, we'll leave the eggs.
Probably an omelette that cooks itself with how flammable they are. Crack a few of those and alakazam, no offense.
None taken.
So you guys have a brief moment of respite here at the lakeside as you gather yourselves and your composure. You have a moment with this creature you're just hugging the ball. You're not letting it out for now.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just hugging the ball. And then you see that from here there's a path that winds its way even deeper into this cave across a few chasms and down into like what looks like a kind of grand gate in this citadel. You make your way down there, and the gate opens as you arrive, almost like it was expecting you. And there is a brief sort of shimmer just on the entranceway, just on the barrier between the here and whatever might be over there. You cross over and you make your way even further into this dark citadel.
Do I know anything about this citadel from books?
Let's do a wits roll.
Books.
Oh, this citadel reminds me of that story about 8.
8, okay. It reminds you of a certain story. What was it? Who was it? Orpheus, wasn't it? Who went into the underworld
Oh,
to
yes.
look for somebody.
Yes. There's a story about this fella who went into the underworld to get this gal.
Eurydice.
Am I? I'll slow down.
Sorry, I sneezed. Sorry.
And he gets to the end, and she is that right? He looks back,
He
she
looks
disappears.
back, yeah.
Right. Well, we should probably not look backwards
Oh,
ever again.
never again.
Oh, well, can I get one last look back?
I don't see why it would hurt.
Oh, nice. We've
better
come
get-
so far.
Yeah. We better get it in now, otherwise we'll get tempted later.
Yes.
Get our looks back.
Are you doing
now.
this over the threshold or outside?
Not quite.
Before.
just before.
Yeah.
Before.
I'm
So
too
you
scared.
look back and you see the ruin of the cave from where all these like peppered flame breath shots of crumbled parts of this ancient citadel, and then you step across the threshold.
So yes, I think this is the underworld. That means we're close, and it probably means that the beast is the child of Hades and
Persephone.
Exactly. So watch out, because we could be in some real danger now. I'll go at the back.
So you
I'll take the
guys,
front.
so you guys with Cash Grab'em merrily leading the way, pointing out all the various bits and bobs that are around.
Cash, grab him.
Yeah.
Don't look back at me.
Oh, what?
Keep looking forward.
Okay.
There is, as you begin to walk your way through, there are various sort of small rooms and entrances off different sides of this long corridor that you're making your way down. You have a peek in a few of them, and there's a lot of people sat at a feast, eating and making merry, but you can't hear them. they're not saying anything. You can just sort of witness this scene in almost complete silence as these people are clinking glasses and shouting, and a band are playing, and minstrels, and a lot of the rooms have these almost like tableaus in them where you're just viewing a diorama almost of people going about their business, but they can't be heard. And you just make your way through, except in one room, Cash, you look in and you recognise some of the furnishings in here. You recognise some of the pictures on the wall because they're of you, and they're of your mum.
Is that my old teacher, Professor Oak?
Yeah, Professor Oak's in weirdly some of the pictures on your wall in your house, but yeah, he's on them.
My mom used to really like him. I don't know why.
Yeah, but well, your mum didn't so much in this particular set of pictures because your dad is in quite a few of these
My
pictures.
dad.
Yeah, your dad is
Who's
in
my
quite a lot of these
dad?
pictures. And as you walk into the room, standing in front of you is your dad, who says to you, Ash,
Who are you?
Ash, what do you mean you want to go out adventuring? You're 10 years old, my boy.
You weren't around when I was 10. Who are you?
I'm your father.
No, you're not.
Cash, stop having these stupid flights of fancy. What kind of a parent would let their child out into the world at 10 years old?
My mom?
To go capturing monsters? Your mum's
Yeah.
a bleeding idiot,
No,
Cash.
she's not. How dare you? And he hits it with his flail.
Strength.
Whatever this is. Oh, that's a 12.
Your flail arcs through the air as this figure is just saying, it would be irresponsible of a parent to let your... And the head just caves and gives so much and almost disappears into the neck ever so slightly. And that figure, it doesn't bleed, nothing too gruesome or grisly happens here because immediately it goes translucent and begins to pool onto the floor. And then that pool on the floor begins to grasp out for your legs. What are you going to do?
Oh, I'm just going to step on him.
You're just going to stamp on okay, strength to stamp it to death.
Step on it.
It's an 8.
An 8. Okay, so you begin to stamp on this thing, and you're not sure if you're just like destroying it and it's like breaking apart, or whether you're forcing it into the floor. You, meanwhile, you've gone slightly further off down the corridor, maybe down a flight of stairs, and you've found your way into a different room. And you're looking around at the various bits and pieces. You recognise it as maybe like kind of cool, trendy tavern. It's quite a hot lady over by the bar. She wasn't there when you walked in, though. Obviously, because you came in and you went over to the bar, didn't you? And you requested a song like you usually do when you come into a tavern. You like to put on some smooth tunes to impress the ladies with your sweet choreographed dances. And then there's sort of, you hear maybe in the back of your head this like, maybe you don't notice first of all, but there's this sort of sound. And then you turn around and at the bar is this beautiful lady. What are you going to do?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Just got off a big hunt not long ago. So,
a big hunt, was it?
Yeah, pretty tired, but.
Pretty tired. Yeah, it must be tiring being a hunter.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Can I get you a drink?
Oh, I'd love a drink. Yeah.
I feel like something was just happening, but I really can't remember what it was. Whatever you got going on, my man.
So she orders like a spritzer, and the barkeep goes, "We don't do spritzer. This is the fantasy medieval times," and gives her a mead, as you would. You have a mead, she's just saying. So what was it you were hunting?
It was something. It was like kind of jelly, but then also something to do with people's dreams, and then also something to do with.
What's your dream?
I just want to help people. I'm just a noble man, I guess. You might say. Other people might say that about me. So I would say that.
But you are saying it about yourself, aren't you?
I'm saying it about myself because other
no
people.
one else will.
Oh.
Oh shit.
He just turns white, ashen white. What do you mean? That's not very nice. Brought you a drink. This is not very.
Yeah, but you don't do anything selflessly, do you, Aragornless? You don't do anything unless you think it's going to make you look good.
That's not true.
Oh, but it is.
Oh.
No, it's not.
Oh no.
You don't know me. I just came here. You're drunk. You're a horrible drunk lady. And I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Let's have what you're
You
going to do.
blew it.
I love the fact double down on how mad. Okay, so I think this is probably just a wits roll to see if he if his sense of self is that rock solid. I think probably.
You blew it.
I really don't think his sense of self is that robust, but I guess we'll see. 5, 6, 7. -1. 6.
6.
So no.
Okay, yeah. So you say you blew it, and you know that you're lying. You know that you were, whether or not this is a horrible gelatinous simulacrum of a human being, you were desperate for this thing to like you, to want to be your friend, to think you were cool.
I'm not cool. I wish I'd drowned in that river.
Oh god.
We will leave you there for the moment. You two are in a different room. You walk into this room and you are in what looks like a study of some description. There are books all over the wall, loads of shelving, papers and parchment piled high on the desks, inkwells and quills, and the mad sort of scribblings of somebody who you think must be magical. And as you may be having a rummage around, you hear a voice that says, "Steve,
Yes?
why do you insist on rummaging through my things, Steve?"
I'd always love a rummage, you know me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Why don't you get your own thing to do, Steve, and stop copying me?
I'm not copying you, wizard slave. I'm not.
You are copying me, Steve, and Mum said that you shouldn't do that anymore. I'm the oldest. I was a wizard first. You need to get a grip.
I was a wizard second. It's fine for me to be a wizard as well. I will challenge you to the ancient fight of the wizards. A stick measuring contest.
Wizard Sleeve says, "I accept," and he holds out one arm, and this huge sleeve dangles open, and he reaches inside, and he pulls out a stick, and he taps it, and it extends, and it extends, and it extends.
Gets thicker too.
And you notice that as this stick extends towards you, coming almost in line with your eyes, there's bristles sticking out the end of this particular stick. Mint. You can smell mint.
That's a very minty, hairy stick. What on earth could that be?
You remember a dream that you had about a minty, hairy stick
It
that
couldn't possibly be.
chased you down the hallway, didn't it?
Oh my god.
These bristles are so thick and they look like they've been shaped to match the contours of.
Yeah, the dream you specifically had was of a guy in a black and red jumper with two gloves on with these bristly sticks sticking out of the fingers, and he chased you around a small town.
And his face was covered in teeth.
Chili Creeper, no!
I need. What are you going to do in response? What are you going to do and what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to make my own incredibly long stick. Here we go.
Come on, Sullivan.
Come on, this time will be different.
Wizard Steve.
Wizard Steve. Wizard Steve.
Wizard
Oh, that's an 11.
An 11. Okay.
Yay!
What do you? How do you react to the toothbrush?
I can only see the toothbrush, right? I can't
All
see-
you've seen is this thing just shoot out in front of you, in just right in your eye line, and you've just got these bristles. It's almost, and your brain is flashed back to that dream where, like, the last thing you saw was this creature with these teeth sticking out of all of these gashes in its face, bearing down of you and reaching out with this gloved hand full of toothbrushes. And the last thing you saw right in front of your eye were these white bristles as they closed your eyes for good.
Rubbed my eyeballs.
Horrible.
I think I fall backwards, crashing into the books or whatever, and then whatever's to hand, if I can reach my sickle, I'll just try and chop it.
Okay. Let's have a chop is strength. Let's have a strength roll. We'll resolve both these things at the same time.
Hey, look at that!
What a team!
Wow.
Okay, so this toothbrush thing shoots out in front of you and you instantly gut react and you just lop the end off of it. Meanwhile, you cast this spell, and this would have been enough to win the competition probably, but the thickest, longest stick that you have ever summoned erupts from the tank top of your robe, and you're just holding this like it's like you've tossed a caber. You're just holding this thing, and Sleeve just looks at you and goes, "Where on earth did you learn that?"
I learnt it from my friends. And I look over at you. You're my best friend in the world.
And you see me on my back with my legs in the air, thrashing with this sickle.
Oh, yes, he's scared of toothbrushes.
I know. And as he says, "I know," his form begins to shift and melt and turns into this thing on the floor. And you realise that the room around you begins to melt away and shift and melt into the floor as you're revealed to be in this huge cavernous room. The same thing happens in your room where you're talking to your father. The same thing happens in the bar as the walls begin to melt. And this huge pool of goo at your feet begins to slide into the centre of the room and form and firm up as this massive, huge sort of blobbed face appears in it.
It's the beast!
It's the beast.
It's the beast, everyone.
This
It's
huge
the
blob
reckoning
face
of
appears
men.
in it, and then these
Weird name.
limbs begin to pop out of it, all across it, like it's like the bloody Isle of Man logo. It's like all these like limbs begin to like cartwheel out of this thing, hands and feet and all different angles, none facing the right way, all different creatures. There are hooves, there are paws, there is all sorts pouring out of this thing as it heaves its weight up off the floor. You can see that kind of like it sticks for a moment as if this goo hasn't quite formed, and it stands up fully on this horrible sort of menagerie of legs and begins to bear down on you. What are you doing as this thing trundles towards you, its mouth opening wide, this kind of huge gaping toothless maw begins to like open, almost like that mouth of the cave that your raft went into earlier, like bearing down on you, and you see yourself getting closer and closer as it almost becomes to encase you. What are you going to do?
If I'm already on my back, I'm gonna try and roll underneath its mouth to get towards its legs and lash out with the sickle as I go.
Okay,
And maybe hopefully trip it over a bit with my body.
let's have a dex roll first of all to see how well you get out of the way, and then we'll have a strength roll to see how well you fight it.
Roll! That's 3.
Okay, you attempt to roll, but you manage to roll. You roll towards it, and then one of these legs you see this hand shoot out from underneath and just pin you down. And another one appears from inside it and pins you down. Another one pins you down.
My rope belt.
And you've got all 4 limbs now pinned to the floor as this mouth almost, you can see that it was going for where you were, and now you've rolled ever so slightly underneath you. The mouth retracts into the form, and some of the other limbs begin to shift out of the way, and the mouth now turns on the inside and then comes back out through the bottom and just opening up on you. What are you going to do? Anyone going to help?
Can you light my flail on fire now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, that's not how I was expecting you to do it, but that works too.
Oh, don't only use magic.
Okay.
1 second.
How long is this gonna take?
It's quite breezy.
Oh!
Okay,
we have to
how
roll
did you
for
light it?
with magic.
Yeah, let's have a power roll to see how you light it.
8 plus 1 is 9.
9. Okay, so you do manage to you sort of hold your wand out, and this flicker of flame erupts through the thing, but it also catches your hair on fire for a brief second. So you're holding this thing, but you're also now trying to put out the flame. So how are you doing that?
I'm gonna take my tricorn hat and push it down really hard and just rub it,
Okay, dexterity. Let's have it.
hoping it's still wet from when I was in the river.
Yep, sure.
That's an 8.
An 8. So yeah, you do manage to wedge your hat down on your head, and you start to rub it around. But you also manage to rub it straight over your eyes,
Ow!
and it's now sort of it's really your hat has almost shrunk in the water and is now clinging to your head quite tightly. So you are blind for a moment and unable to help. Let's have Aragorn. Are you going to help in this situation?
I don't only do things to look cool.
You're still arguing.
Sometimes.
It's like a good few minutes ago.
He's been ranting the whole time.
Yeah, he was ranting eyes shut. Yeah.
And anyway, aren't we all really being observed all of the time? I mean, do any of us truly do anything in a vacuum? I can't believe this. Oh, God! I'm gonna take my... This guy's gelatinous, so I mean... What can I do? Can I light one of my arrows on fire and try and shoot?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and shoot around, not on you, but next to you to try and get
Sure.
the creature to let him
Dex
go.
then.
Okay, let's see him. Okay, it's not too bad. It's a 10, I believe.
A 10. Okay, on a 10, you knock an arrow. You really quickly just whip it through the flaming flail that is currently being sort of paraded around by a slightly dazed Cash Grabham. You light the arrow on fire and you just ping this shot off, and it goes perfectly through the elbow joints of 2 of these arms. Just your left hand side is now free as these hands just sort of go limp as the tendons are severed. More of them are beginning to appear out, and the creature for a second, its eyes swivel up to you, and the head retracts again, and you can see the head pulls back into the body and rotates around this sort of silver glistening thing in the very center of this creature, and then turns and comes out the front again, and it begins to make its way over to you, dragging you along with it by one half. What are either of you going to do?
That's given me an idea. The other limbs that are holding me on the other side.
Yep.
Are they still like whole limbs, or have they gone all gelatinous yet?
They are whole limbs, yeah.
Could I try and heal those limbs so that they cauterize off from its body?
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's brilliant.
Cool.
Good idea.
Oh, I hope we don't need hit points later.
Okay, so you're going to heal them.
I'm going to heal these limbs.
All right, let's roll your d4, because the heal will do d4 healing, but
1.
1. Okay. So you put your hands on. You've got one of your hands is pinned down. You manage to sort of cup the limb that's grabbing you, and you slap your other hand on it, and you begin to sort of chant your slight prayer to the gods that you found.
Whimp away in the jungle.
And this white energy begins to emanate from your hands. You see it travel up the arm, and then as it almost reaches this other force that's pushing the other way from the main mass of this thing, and you see that the limb that you're holding begins to sort of form over on the corner. Maybe the ball joint of the shoulder begins to re-heal, and then this limb just sort of flops out dead around you.
Immediately blue and purple.
And you're holding it and you're looking at it, and you can see this is quite an old arm. Like this is the arm of someone who's like in their 70s, 80s, something like that. It's got, it's wrinkled, it's wearing a bracelet, it's wearing a few different rings. You recognise these rings.
Oh no.
You've seen these before. These are the ones that old Miss Mavis had on her.
This is Mavis. I'll keep this for her, and maybe we'll be able to reattach it. It is Mrs. Mavis.
And while you're doing that, there's this other hand is still just dragging you along the floor as this creature barrels towards you. You see that all these other hands have now pushed their way out of the front of the creature, and they are all just pounding, coming towards you like this.
I'm really visualizing this is one of the most mad things I think I've ever tried to visualize.
I'm visualizing the end of Inside, if anyone's played
Yes,
that
that's
game.
what I've.
Yeah.
I'm trying to whack it with Mrs.
But
Mavis.
the size of a
as well.
church.
Yeah.
Can I try and light another arrow and try and fire it at that silver
Yeah, I'm
thing?
still. I still
Absolutely.
can't see, but
Let's have a look. That's 8. Is this Dex?
Dex, yeah.
9.
9, okay. So you fire, you do manage to light another arrow and you knock it and you fire, let loose, and it flies straight through the kind of forehead, what you would assume is the forehead of this big blobby face, and into the very center of the creature, and it collides with this silvery mass. And you just hear, for a very brief period before the wound basically reforms, this like metallic ting sound as it collides with something on the inside.
where did you aim that?
The silver thing in the middle of its head.
Yeah.
I was
It's
kind of
the middle of its
assuming that
head,
it was its
yeah.
brain and we would be able to kill it, but it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like that's...
It's metal.
It's the mirror! It's the secret mirror! I'm sure of it!
Oh God! Oh God, it's the mirror!
So on a 9, this thing is still coming towards you, flailing fists, and it's going to you've hit this sort of metallic thing, but it's not even stopped its stride. And you see that there's these lots of human hands just sort of grasping and clawing at you.
I
but there are
avoid.
also a lot of you're going to just use avoid.
I avoid.
Yeah, go on, use avoid. You can just use it. Let's roll and see how you get out of the danger. But yeah.
Okay,
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Left.
it's 11, and I avoid!
Yeah, you do just fully avoid. You actually just go. You're still just going Actually, you're just very rude.
I can't believe you would even bring that up.
And
We
there's
just
a
met.
there's a bit
Really,
where all
really.
the hands just sort of go whoa 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 whoa. I didn't mean anything by it. I just we
I
were
think
just
you
doing
did.
what we
I
were
think
trying
you
to
know
fuck with you.
exactly
We're
what
just
you
trying to
meant.
fuck with you. We're just having a laugh. We're just having a game. We're just doing a bit
I
of
mean,
fun.
you know, at least I'm doing good with my life. What are you doing?
And they're
You're
like-
down here in this cavern trying to fuck us all up.
And they're like,
I mean,
oh, and then you just see all the hands go, oh, forget you. The whole thing just swivels around and is now facing towards you
annoying
two.
to kill.
And it's just running over towards you. It just starts barreling your way.
Can you
This is way
get
too
my
much.
hat off my eyes, please? I don't
Yes.
know why I can't, but please help.
Oh, well, no, I'll use it with the hand that still has bones.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
I
great.
don't have bones in one of my hands.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay, I can see again. Ah!
Okay, let's have Dex from you, Strength from you.
Boneless hand.
Oh, that's a 2.
2.
Dilative hand.
That's an 11.
An 11,
Good.
okay. So, you're wrestling with this hat. You have not stopped moving, though, the entire time. You've asked for help and you have not stopped wriggling. You're just like trying to get yourself out of this and you're trying to pull this hat out. And it won't give for the first few seconds. You've got one hand that has no bones in it, so you're trying to get you're sort of trying to get your wrist underneath it, you're trying to get your elbow in, and eventually you manage to get like a couple of the fingers of your other hand up and under, and then you manage to scoop a thumb in, and then you lift this thing on. But you spent so long doing it, you've not noticed this creature just bearing down behind you. You have this moment where your hat just lifts up off your eyes, and this thing is inches away from you, hands flailing. You manage to strike out with your blade, your flail, like straight through the middle of these hands, and you see that multiple of them are just sort of broken and battered and now hanging off this thing all limp and gooey and starting to turn back to sort of jelly, and then some of them are being pulled back into the full mass of this thing. But this is all happening on your side. On your side is a series of just hands and claws and scratches, and your face is just getting pounded by this thing. You're going to take some damage.
Yes. Is it 1 damage from that?
Take 1 damage, please. And as that happens, you sort of batter these hands away, but these other hands are just grasping and clawing, and then you feel at the very top of your cone a hand just grab on. And then a hand just cup the other side, and then another hand grab the top of the cone, and then you feel some of them slide their way down, and they manage to get their fingers under the ridge of your head, and they start to pull.
Ah! It's not a hat! It's not a hat!
It looks like a hat. It's not a hat. Sometimes I paint it so it's easier than wearing a
Stars
hat.
and moons on it.
Can I like attack the ones that are going like the arm
Yep.
part rather
Yep.
than
Sure. Let's have a strength attack then.
I'm sorry. That's a 5.
Okay. On a 5, you do lash out with this flail, but you know,
I'm sorry.
big balls on chains on the end of sticks. They're pretty hard to wield accurately. Sullivan's already started to mark it off. You're going to take some damage here, Sullivan, as this flail does fly down. It does hit a few of the hands, but those hands are holding something, aren't they? So it does begin to, like, the spikes dig into the back of a few of these hands on this, but you can see that the other spikes are now sort of sticking slightly into your head, and this thing is still lifting you up off the floor. And now, with you attached on the end of the flail, and you by the arms and by the top of your head, you've been lifted off the floor as this thing rears up, and you can see that some of the hands on the other side of the body, you guys, where you're on the other side of it, they begin to patter on the floor as this whole thing begins to tilt and shift over. You're being lifted up into the air as this thing rotates, and you guys see them now sort of being held up by all these different hands, almost like they're crowd surfing as these things begin to pass them over the top, and the face of this beast retracts once more from the front of it into the body, and it turns upwards, and it opens the mouth and begins to raise up through the body.
It's like the worst
Are you gonna
Studio
help?
Ghibli experience ever. It's quite horrible.
Release the lizard! Release the lizard in the ball!
No.
Release the lizard in the fucking
Hey,
ball!
release the lizard!
I'll go in. I yank the
No!
Kill one more lizard
flail
that
out
you've
of
already
here.
killed.
I yank the flail out of your head.
Ah!
I'm so sorry.
Oh!
I'm like still holding on to you, so I've not dropped yet. I go, it's been lovely knowing you. And jump towards the forehead where there's the glint in the head.
Okay, so you're going to the only way to get to where the glint is, the
Yep.
glint is at the very center of the mass of this thing. This thing is a huge ball
Yeah.
of just limbs, right? Like, and that face can swivel and move wherever it wants to within it. And you see that the face is facing your way, and you can see that silver thing in the very center of it. And the easiest way to see it is through the bit that's wide fucking open.
Yep.
The mouth. So you're diving into the mouth of this thing.
Diving in.
Smith and Men in Black.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I'm going to, while I was still with you, I'm going to unwrap the burning fabric from my flail and like wrap it around one of my hands
Oh.
so that I can go like this kind of dive, like right into the mouth, hoping that the flame will make it part.
Okay, strength. This is strength 2. This is your constitution, basically, to see how well you can wrap your hand with flames on it and how well you can sort of survive the burns of that. Oh.
That is a 12.
Okay, so you manage to, and flaming flail that is already lit, you manage to grab a very loose end of that flaming bit. You manage to wrap it incredibly quickly around your hand. It is burning you as you go, so you are going to take damage from this. You're going to take 1 point of damage from this. Yep, and you then you just dive into the mouth of this thing with hand outstretched, and as you sort of collide with the back of the throat of this thing, you feel that it's just jelly. It's just the same thing that was trying to suck you in the swamp back at Sticky End, right? Your hand parts into it with so much force this time that you feel the kind of flesh of it almost leap away from your flaming hand, and you sort of dive straight in, and your hand collides with a crunch on something hard at the very center of this thing.
I grab him.
You grab it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to try to yank it back out.
Okay. Let's have a strength roll.
I grab him. It's the whole thing I do. Oh, it's a 7.
Okay. So you live up to your name. You grab him.
I grab him.
You grab this thing and you begin to hoist. But you've grabbed it with the hand that was outstretched. This was the hand that was flaming, and you are now you're holding this thing, and now you're trying to make your progress back the other way. Are you going up? Are you going along? Are you going down?
I'm trying to go back the way I came.
Okay, well I think trying to
It's
go back
probably a bad idea.
the way you came is like swimming through tar.
Yeah.
You are fighting every inch of the way, and this thing is just slowing you down. I'm going to say that I'm going to open it up to the group. What is anyone else going to do to help here?
When I hear Steve's cry when he gets the flail pulled out of him, I look and realise, oh yes, he's probably bashed up enough now for me to justify using one of my heal spells. So
Hooray!
I go, have a poultice!
Oh, thanks. That feels great. Thanks.
You want to rub it in twice a day, and the bones will probably grow back as well. I don't know.
Imagine.
Let's roll your dice for the healing, first of all, your
this
D4.
one?
Yep.
That's a 3.
Oh, so you recover 3 health. And let's have a power roll to see how well you mixed a magical poultice and see if he does grow bones back.
Oh.
Many bones.
Ew.
No, that's a 9. 9 power 9.
9. Okay, yeah. So you do like this poultice flies up into the air in this little ceramic pot, and some of the hands are trying to swat it out of the way, and as they do, they sort of smash it open, and it spills onto you. And there's a second where, like, as these things are just grasping you and trying to force you into this mouth, and you're fighting it off, they're just smearing it more over you. And you're just getting like a sort of lovely. You're getting basted or a lovely massage at the same time. But you feel healthier as your wounds begin to knit back up, and you can feel pain in your hand. The sort of pain that you felt when you were a young boy, sort of pain you would feel, that kind of dull ache that you have as your bones are growing. So you've done that. What are you going to do, Aragorn?
I'm going to try and just hack up this jelly with
Yeah?
my big ass hunting knife.
Nice.
So let's see how that goes. Assuming this is strength.
Yep.
That's 8 plus nothing.
8. Okay, yeah, so you begin to just sort of, whereabouts specifically you're attacking it?
I don't know. Arse. The arse. I go for the arse. I
Okay.
find the arse.
Yeah.
And I try and get a cheek off.
Okay, you try and get a cheek. Well, I'm going to say that you look for the arse of this thing, and actually, like, as you move around, you think logically there's a face on one end, the arse must be the other end. So you run directly underneath, and you can see that actually, like, what's been rotating through this thing, as well as this blobfish face, is this collection of cheeks. All sort of stacked up like a horrible mosaic, making 2 giant cheeks out of all these other cheeks, and you begin to carve, and these almost like chicken fillets are just dropping to the floor around you as you begin to slash your way through. But as you do that, you're beginning to just cut, and like more of this creature is having to divert itself away from the center of the mass to refill these bits that are being carved off as you're doing that. And that is freeing up you, because you can feel that some of the force of this thing that was holding you back is beginning to pull away, but at the same time, part of it is trying to suck you down with it, because a lot of the stuff that you're moving through, a lot of the actual matter of this thing is now being pulled back down to the bottom. So while you're trying to go up, it is trying to pull you back down. What are you going to do?
How far away is down? Is it like way further than up?
It's the size of a church. So
Like, I guess how far up was I already?
you'd made maybe a quarter of the progress. So down is not a terrible idea here, but up is where you were going. So what are you going to do?
Well, if it's pulling me down, I might just follow its current.
Yeah.
And then try to use that to help me escape through a different way.
Let's have a dex roll then to see how well you can follow this current.
That's 10.
10. Okay. On a 10, you sort of naturally manage to feel the movement of this thing, and you kind of allow your body to almost go limp as this thing begins to pull and guide you through its internal systems. This thing that you're holding in one hand just sort of dragging along behind you as you make your way down. You're still cutting. Let's have another strength roll from you.
Okay.
Oh no. Wah, wah,
Wah,
wah.
wah, wah. Okay, so you are at the bottom of this thing, and you are just starting to. You've just been carving your way through. But as the creature begins to reform itself, it's beginning to shift, and you can see that same twisting of the mass begin to happen as these arms begin to work their way back through the body towards you, and you see, like, first of all, one just rockets out in front of you and just catches you perfectly on the chin, so you're going to take a point of damage from that as it just bludgeons you. And more of these arms are beginning to come out now, and they're just beginning to wail down on you, fending you off any way they can. What are you up to?
May I cast another one of my big spells, please?
Yes, what would you like to do for big spell?
Can I turn myself into the Human Torch?
Power roll.
Great. Come on, Steve. Come on, Steve.
Okay, that's 8 plus 1, 9.
9, okay. Yeah. 9 is a success, but not in the way you imagine.
Yeah.
So yes, you do turn into the Human Torch. And oh boy, it burns.
Oh no!
You basically just go like flame on, and then you are just going as this like rocket fuel almost emanates from your feet, and you just fly up into this kind of cavernous space, and you're scooting around the room. But you are like you're a human firework now. You are just flying through this thing, and huge chunks of it are just lacerating off, and these like huge globs of it just against the wall as you begin to like ping back and forwards. You're going to take a point of damage because you're on fire, but you are making short work of this thing. What are you going to be up to? You chucked your poultice, you've been being dragged.
I healed him and then watched him set himself on fire. And
You're holding Mrs. Mavis's arm.
Oh, gee whiz. I think I need to get out of here. I'm still being dragged.
Yeah, so you've still got one limb attached to you at the foot that's been sort of dragging you around. You've been lifted up maybe onto one of the other sides. You're now sort of like dangling off the back of this thing as this one arm is handing you, and that's where you threw your poultice from.
So I'm going to take Mavis's arm and whack the arm that's holding me with it.
Yep. Strength.
Unhand me. That's 8.
8. Okay, so yeah, you whack this arm with Mrs. Mavis's, and it's almost like it's the kind of slap of like, stop that, and it just hits it, and the arm does for a second just let go, and let go, and you just drop to the floor straight down from where you are. But because you've not really thought about the next part of the plan, you are just going to drop straight onto your head, and you're going to take a point of damage.
Ow!
That means that the creature is, so the creature is now sort of preoccupied with this flaming human running around the room, and it is just swinging. So let's have a strength roll from you and a strength roll from you to find out what's going on.
Oh, nice.
6 from me.
6 from you.
11.
11 from you.
Am I doing strength?
Yeah, strength.
Yeah, 11.
11. Okay, great. So you begin to sort of you've taken a few lumps now as these arms have come out, and you take your knife and you manage to sort of wade your way into them, fending them off with one arm, and then you're just slashing back into this
I'm
mass
not
again.
doing this for myself.
And you're just cutting pieces off it. You are struggling your way back through this creature, and you can begin to see Aragormless on the other end. You can see their figure sort of hazily as if through a piece of sort of paper almost, or like a misted glass, as they're sort of, you can just see frantic movement and all these arms and all these limbs wailing, and then you're getting stuck in the last bit of this mire. This is where all of the goo is congregating now. It's trying to fill every portion of this as it gets opened up, and you're stopped for a second until this dagger plunges its way through the mass. On your 6, you're stuck and you're not going to be able to get out the way as this dagger just pierces into your shoulder, so you can take a point of damage.
I could resist it, but I've got enough.
But as that happens,
I'm not going to release the lizard. The lizard's my friend.
as that happens, you so that knife plunges in and hits you. You manage to just place one arm on it, and as you're pulling out, you're holding on, and you begin to sort of breach through the edge, like being born out of this like horrible thing. So you can breathe again for a
I'm
second.
so sorry, I didn't see you in there.
It's okay. I've got the mirror.
Oh, golly gosh. Well, that'll be useful for someone, not for me, obviously, because I'm not in this for myself. But I'm sure I'll take it.
So you sort of slump out of this thing like you're like Ace Ventura coming out the back of that rhino. You're onto the floor, and then this you've got this thing that you've grabbed, and it's maybe this large and round and kind of silvery, or is it obsidian in colour? It sort of changes as you begin to look at it. It's gilded around the edges and etched with what look to be symbols of some description, but the very centre of it is polished to a mean shine. It has a slight dink in one of the corners of it where maybe an arrow hit it at some point. But yeah, you're sort of holding this thing.
Okay, can you pull me the rest of the... Oh, am I fully out?
You're fully
I'm
out.
now, okay.
Let's have a roll from you to see how well you can guide the human missile that you are.
That isn't. What would you like on that roll? Is that Dex?
Let's say Dex, yeah.
That's a flat 9 then.
A flat 9, okay. So yeah, you do manage to sort of like you. First of all, you've been just zigzagging this room, just streaking, screaming your head off as you go. How would you like to regain your composure here? I will give you some options. You can either take a point of damage and fly at this thing with deadly accuracy, or you can endanger everybody else while doing your act, while trying to get a good strike on this thing.
I do like the idea of endangering everybody. I think I'll endanger everybody else, please.
Okay, so you're still screaming and you're not really paying attention to what you're up to. You are just trying to hit this thing as hard and as fast as you can because you think this is the quickest solution to taking this beast down. You fly up into the air, you latch eyes onto it from above, and you dive directly into what you think is the mass, and you do rocket through a good top quarter of this thing at a diagonal, just carving off a huge amount as you go, and this spray of gelatinous goo almost forms a ring around the rest of you as it just sort of emanates from the impact zone in a perfect light. As you've dived almost into it, it just goes up and around and lands in a ring of fire around all of you and the beast. Let's have dex rolls from all of you to see if you dodge the fire.
Oh, yeah, look at that. 9. 9.
9. You're fine.
11, 12.
12. Okay, so you're fine.
5.
5. You're going to take a point of damage. It's
I'm going to resist.
You're going to resist. Okay.
Oh yeah, good shout.
My hand's just been on fire. I can take it.
So actually what happens is this thing sort of flies over. You see it coming and you just whip the shield up and you bat this glob of goo out of the way. But you've batted it in the direction of Try a Fuck, who on a 9 has avoided your own one, but now you're in danger from this other one. So what are you going to do?
Oh no. Duck.
Duck. Okay, let's just have a dex.
Whoa. Hey, look at that. That's 11.
Wait.
Okay, so you do just duck, and this thing this flaming ball just glumps onto the wall and then just begins to melt straight into it, and you can see that the rock being eaten away as this fire and this acidic-y goo eats it up. This thing is looking worse for wear. The limbs are sort of various bits of the limbs are staggering. It's kind of shifting. It's like a drunk millipede at this point, as all these limbs are sort of trying to keep it upright. Huge portions of it. It's not really holding a sort of spherical shape that it had before. The face is almost retracted onto the inside where it seems like it's safer. It doesn't appear to have any organs of any form, you would think. It just is, just trying to hold its form together, but it's almost just like a sort of half-eaten Easter egg holding itself up at the moment. What are you going to do to finish it off, do you think?
Should we do a group attack?
Let's light ourselves on fire and do a group attack.
Yeah!
Shall I make you all into human torches?
Yes! Let's do it!
Oh, hey, I've got a suggestion. What if you 3 become human torches? I stay back here because then you'll need healing at the end, won't you? Otherwise, you might
I'll be
burn to a crisp.
fine.
Well, I think it's probably worth the insurance, think about it. That's probably a good use of what I'm doing, so I'll just stand in this corner here.
I'm going to make all 3 of them into human torches.
All 3 of them?
Right.
Yep,
Yes.
that's absolutely fine. Let's have big cast, spend that.
Another big cast.
And then we'll have a power roll to see how well you make human torches.
Oh, it's 11.
It's 11, okay. So unlike when you cast this on yourself, you think you've worked out the kinks in this particular spell. You manage to set these guys on fire. You feel that you guys you hold your staff out, and these beams erupt They hit all of you, and you feel this burning sensation that starts in your guts, and it begins to spread out all over your skin. It doesn't hurt, but you just feel like, it's like when you've had cough medicine or something like that. It's that kind of like, or like aniseed. It feels like it's that kind of like warming whiskey-ish thing, and it does the inverse of whiskey, where it travels from your guts up your throat and then out of your mouth, and then it begins to spread over your skin. You look down at your hands and they are flaming, but you are unharmed completely, and you can hover and you can do all sorts. What are you all going to do?
I'm gonna fly right at it.
Okay. So let's have dex rolls from all of you to see how well we all fly into this beast.
I'll go for the legs. No, I won't. That's a 4.
13.
13.
A 12 for me.
7.
7 and
4.
4. Okay. So yeah, you all sort of you all fly up into the air at the same moment. There's that hero shot as you're all 4 flaming torches lined up, and then you all pivot up and dive back down towards the creature. You're aiming for its feet, and you eat dirt. You just go straight into the floor.
And then they go, woo, and I go,
yeah. You're just like, you're gonna take a point of damage for that. You're next.
Yeah.
So you do fly straight into sort of the mass, but you get caught up in the arms and the grasping, and they're managing to sort of hold you at arm's length, and you can see that the skin is beginning to crisp up and burn underneath you, but more hands just come where they disappear back into the goo, and then they reappear again, almost healed for a second, as this kind of palming you off continues to happen. But you two arc up through the air, and you cross as you pass through this creature, straight through the very center of it, and it explodes in this shower of flaming goo that begins to rain down on all the areas of this cavern that you are in. How are you all getting out of the way of the raining goo? You guys are probably fine because you've just arced through and gone up. You're being held currently by the last remnants of the hand, and you are on the floor. So
Are the hands still attached?
they are attached to the very last vestiges of it, and there is like that moment where you behead a chicken and it can still run around for a few seconds. There is that kind of like, it's an almost robotic, autonomous motion of this thing just trying to protect itself with the last embers of its life.
Can I just grab all of them and cover myself in them and go like this?
You certainly can. Let's have a wits roll for that.
That's 11.
11, yeah, absolutely.
good.
You just grab a load of these things in the last moment. You just bundle them all over the top of you, and you just hide underneath as this stuff rains down. You can hear it spattering on top of all the limbs above you.
I'm gonna try and roll over there underneath the thing as well that you've made.
My little arm port.
Yeah. Is that Dex?
Yeah.
Curses. Curses.
Oh no.
That's a 4 again.
That's a 4 again. Okay, so yeah, you try and roll under. You're trying to get involved, and you are just.
Can't really see where I'm going.
There's like a couple of the hands that, even though you've sort of pulled them out of the mass of this thing, there's a couple of hands that are still just moving, and they're just sort of pushing you away. So you're just sort of forced out, and yeah, you're going to take a point of damage as this last like glob of goo lands, and then just the whole thing sizzles and melts around you, and you feel the master ball that you're holding gives a little shake as this kind of thing passes from this life, as it sinks into the soil here of this kind of dirt arena that you've made.
I think it's safe to come. Do you want to come out, little guy? I look around and make sure that there's no more danger.
Not that you can see, there's a few like piles of sort of flaming goo, but it's all melting, and the arms and stuff that have been pulled off the body have started to wither. Some of the other ones have turned back into this kind of gelatinous mix and are dissolving themselves.
Am I on the floor?
You're on the floor,
Okay,
yeah, you were under a pile, so.
I kneel down and I open it up and let him out.
Okay, so you sort of pop this thing that goes poof, and this creature just forms in front of you, a tiny little red-spined lizard with a flame at the end of its tail, and it sort of looks around for a few seconds, sort of comprehending what's going on. And then it scuttles over to one of the piles of goo, and it just begins to
Yeah.
eat this sort of flaming mass. And then you see, it's almost like a light emanates from the very center of this thing. It starts orange, and it goes yellow,
I think it's
and it
evolving.
goes to brilliant white as the form of this thing turns fully white, and then it begins to sort of shift and undulate for a second, growing and shrinking and growing and shrinking, and you hear this kind of like strange music in your head that's like dun, 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 and as this thing
I'm gonna press B.
Yeah. I don't want it to change.
first of all, like
It was really cute.
as it begins to the creature grows in size and begins to stand up onto its rear legs, and wings begin to form out of its back, and you're stood in front of this kind of dragonish red lizard.
Wow, you look so cool. Do you want to come back with us to all your friends, or do you want to stay here?
Wits, please.
I've asked it another this or that. I didn't learn.
It tries to decapitate.
Yeah, it bites your head off.
8.
It gives you the Ash's Charizard treatment, where it nods and it knows what you're saying, and it folds its arms and it looks at you for a second, and then its tail just whips around and just takes your legs out from underneath you for a second.
Oh, you're funny. Ow. Okay, well, we'll just leave you here then.
You take 6 hit points of damage.
Yeah.
You die.
Okay, well, bye, Mr. Lizard friend.
Yeah, so you leave this lizard here, the new king of the underworld,
Yeah.
and you guys begin to make your journey back out, having slain the beast. You make your way back up through the caverns, past the gate, without looking back. It's best not to look back. Back to the lake, where a man with a boat greets you. You pay him a coin or two. He takes you back up the river, somehow riding against the current, all the way back to Sticky End, where you find yourselves back at the camp you started from. And a figure leans out near the fire that evening and says, "So this is the bit where I ask you, did you fight it then? I'm the guy who asks you at the end of the game. What's been going on?"
We have the mirror. Do you want
We haven't actually looked in the mirror yet.
to... No, we've not.
No,
I wonder how, in our reality, how we went from Sticky End to hell and back. What was going on in this other reality? But first, I'm going to use my last healing slot to heal just myself. So I do that. 2, that'll do it. Very nice. Okay, I'm feeling okay now.
So are you going to look in the mirror?
Yeah.
yes, please.
I
Okay.
want to see.
I want to leave this up to you. What do you think you see when you look in the mirror?
Cash grabs the mirror. He sees a little boy with something yellow and fluffy on his shoulder. It feels familiar, but it's not any pet or beast that he's had before. At least he doesn't think so. Boy's name is Ash Ketchum, though. That really sounds... Gosh, that sounds familiar. I'm really confused. I think that thing on... I mean, that's me, isn't it? And on my shoulder is... Oh... I don't know about this.
Fantastic.
There's a moment when you're holding, when you pick up this mirror, the black screen that the sort of like the black veneer of it for a second sort of flickers into this sort of yellowy thing, and then this sort of like garbled text in the middle in this sort of shape like this, and you can't really quite make it out. It's like something like that, and you think, I don't know, maybe I'll blow in the back of this in a second.
Yeah.
And you can't do it.
I don't think it's working very well. Here you go.
I am going to look in the mirror, and then I just see the outline of a YouTube video.
Oh God! Oh God!
I'm just here. Welcome to House Rules, and I just get it away from
No,
me.
they need to look at it first.
I just can't look at it. That man was hideous in that video. He was hideous. I
His
couldn't
head
look at him.
was so short.
His head was so short and perfectly spherical. It was wrong. It was wrong what I saw, and I wouldn't see it ever again.
It's okay. You don't have to see it anymore.
I didn't like this.
Aragorn looks into the mirror and he sees a man in a tavern with his hood really low over his incredibly handsome face. Why does he want to hide his face? He's gorgeous. Doesn't make any sense. And he's watching these. Well, the word comes to mind. Hobbits. That's a funny word. Hobbits. Weird. He's watching these hobbits squabble at the bar, and he's smoking. And there's a real sense of this guy doesn't do things for himself. He does them for other people, and it leaves Aragornless with a huge sense of that's how he's going to be from this day on.
Aww.
That's nice.
I say, I don't think I need to look at it. I'm very content with this reality and knowing that this is
Oh,
true
come on,
and
look
real.
at it.
Have a look.
Oh, no.
Come
Have a
on.
look.
I glance at it and I see these guys must have been completely deluded because all I see is the four of us, our bodies crushed and dead, and our bones broken, smashed in. We're clearly completely dead in the ruins of Sticky End. And I realised this was all a metaphor. Oh God, we're already dead. We're already dead. And then I look back and go,
It's. I just see my own face. I think we probably shouldn't look in this mirror ever again.
Do you mind if I have it?
Oh yeah, I forgot you were here.
Yeah. I'll take it to where it needs to go. Don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll take it where it needs to go. And if you ever need to see it again, just ask for Crinkle Nut. And this guy just turns and walks away.
No! Not Crinkle Nut!
We totally forgot about the whole Crinkle Nut story.
Yeah, that was a huge
Mayor
part of the.
Sheriff Crinkle Nut!
We should have. Crinkle Nut!
Freeze frame.
Freeze frame.
And that brings our game of Have You Heard About the Beast to an end. But if you want to watch more chaotic neutral playing role-playing games, click any of the videos that are appearing on screen now. And if you want to sign up to our Patreon, patreon.com/NarrowsBarn, and give us your support, we would very much appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the game. We will see you next time. We need to come up with a sign-off because it's not.
Don't vote for Mayor Crinkle Nut!
Don't vote for Crinkle Nut.
You already did.